Yo, yo.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's going on?
What's up?
Not much.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry I cut you off before. We were chatting a little bit before we got started, and Mike, you were talking about one of your teams that's just decimated, right?
Yeah, well, it's just got a lot of injuries and hitting the old COVID challenge here, so I'm debating whether I start like Lockett. I do have Donovan Peoples-Jones I can throw in case Lockett doesn't play.
Who's throwing him the ball? Oh,
Their game's not till Tuesday either, so
right. Okay, I got you.
It could be Baker, but also Landry could be back too. So, and Hooper. So, yeah,
That's
man,
not
I don't know.
That's not the worst fallback, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Sutton that I could start, but he hasn't had 10 points in 10 weeks.
I cut him.
Yeah,
I cut him 3 weeks ago in redraft.
I cut him and Judy in one league. I was like, I'm done.
I had him and I had Patrick in all my leagues, and I cut him and Patrick. I can't. Yeah. They just don't want to throw it. So
yeah. Well, I have Waller in that league too, actually, and my only other tight end option was Fant. So, yeah, it's like Fant or Brevin Jordan. So, yeah, Waller is the tight end bust of the year. He's really stinking it up.
Don't worry, I'm starting Ryan Griffin in one of my leagues. So, you know,
yeah, I looked on waivers and O'Shaughnessy.
The Jets.
The Jets. That's right. I remember that guy. O'Shag Hennessy, huh?
O'Shag Hennessy. Yeah, that was the only option on my waivers. So I was like, I'll just roll with Fant and pray for a miracle.
I'll tell you,
it sucks. I'm like the number 2 seed too, and I'm going up against the number 6 seed, and he's projected to beat me by 50 points. I'm like, this just sucks.
Yeah, it's a sleeper, right? Sleeper projections don't mean shit.
Yeah, but I had Swift too, Swift, Dobbins, Akers, ETN, but I still have JT and Javonte, so I got a shot. But
it's a lot of running backs on that team.
I got Metcalf, Godwin, I've got good players, but I had Lamar, and so now Lamar is probably out. I was just like, man, I'll just take I finished second in that league 2 years in a row too, since it's been around. So I was like, I doubt I'll make it there. But
Nick Vinette, Mike Kinney says Nick Vinette deep sleeper. With Bears?
No, he's the Saints.
Saints.
That's actually not a bad one.
No, it's not. If he's available though, he's been picked up in most of my.
He might actually be available.
I'll tell you where I've lucked
because everybody started really just picking up everybody they possibly can in all my leagues with this COVID stuff.
If COVID IR is still a thing on your league, then that's why everyone's picking up everyone, because they can throw them in those spots, right?
I have not. Well, luckily for me, I only have out of 21 leagues, I'm only playing in 4 games this week because of buys, and unfortunately, some of them I was eliminated, but I think I got 6 bye weeks this week. So, I'm really happy about that in those leagues, because there's a couple of those that were just. I look at them and like one of my redraft leagues, I don't know what the hell I would do if I had to field a team this week. So
one of my buys had Kelsey and Tyreek though, so I was like, y'all are lucky I'm not playing this week.
Yeah, I had a buy that had Kelsey as well.
Oh, yeah, Kelsey did good for me last night. Boy, that game had me so poo-poo faced for the first half, and then the second half fourth quarter was just awesome. It's funny because I was texting a friend and he needed the same stuff, and so fourth quarter started. I was like, okay, we're gonna get one long. I was like, need Kelsey to get a 60-yard catch, and then he got that one where he was down at the 1, and I was like, holy crap. And then I was like, okay, now we need Herbert to go down the field. And he did. And then I was like, all right, Mahomes. And then we just played it all out, and it actually worked out. And we were like, yeah.
Yeah, I have him. I have Kelsey in one team that's playing right now. And that's in that Fantasy Darlings league that you're in, Chad.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got 51 out of him. So I'm pretty happy there.
Oof.
51 out of him. And the team I was playing as Tyreek. So 51-36 is how that battle finished.
Yeah, that's a 0.75 premium or something.
I think that's what
I'm playing Austin in a league, and he beat me in the championship last year, and he was talking some smack during the game, but I have Mahomes and Kelsey, and by the end of the game, I have 90 points, and he has
Nice.
0. And I was like, because I was like, you never know what'll happen. And then Kelsey got the touchdown in OT, and I was like, yeah, you're screwed, man. Like, I'm sorry. He's like, this sucks. He went to bed so sad.
All right, so I guess we should. Do you guys want to jump in and do like playoff primers for the 2 leagues that we didn't get to last week?
Yeah,
11
I
and
mean,
12.
11's pretty easy. Like, I'm gonna win it. So, like, let's just move on to 12.
All right, so you and Garrett Collins got the bye, and then Big OTDs, Wolfie. Big OTDs is playing Wolfie. Memphis is playing Joseph Fry. So Joseph Fry had Herbert going last night. He got 29 out of him. So that's a good start for him.
Yep.
Let's see. Big OTDs got 1.7 out of Darrell Williams. So not a great start. And he's got a lot of COVID stuff going on. I mean, I kind of don't really even want to look at the games that much and predict who's going to win shit because nobody like this is ridiculous even trying to predict this week. Like let's just say who's playing who and move on.
Call what it is.
Yeah. So this is the auction league.
Yeah.
I want to look at the final standings for this league actually.
So in first Mike finished in first place here with 12-2, actually tied with Garrett Collins. Next was Knuckleheads, then Big Ol' TDs, then Wolfie, then Memphis. Memphis got the last playoff spot there.
So interestingly enough, next closest was J-Sut, which was the guy that, wouldn't spend his money in the auction.
Had one QB all year. That's pretty impressive, actually.
Finished 7th with 1 QB.
Yeah, I mean,
that's wild.
It helps when you have Eckler, right? So, and
didn't he just have Daniel Jones too?
Yeah,
who was he starting at QB?
Just Daniel
Past
Jones,
couple weeks.
And Mike Glennon, he picked up Mike Glennon, so he's been just playing Mike Glennon, Daniel Jones.
It's loyalty right there.
Yeah, he is a pretty strong team though, as far as like being young and everything. So it should be pretty interesting watching this team going forward.
Yeah,
needs to get that quarterback though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Mike's team. I mean, it's a really strong team. He has Dak, Clyde, Najee. Wide receivers are Keenan Allen, Cordell. He has Travis Kelce, Aaron Jones, Mark Andrews, Elijah Mitchell, who's going to be out, so he's going to have to find somebody next week there. But Tom Brady, Russell Wilson on the bench as his third quarterback. Nuts on the bench. Let me see. Not really much. Not really too deep on the bench.
Hollywood and Julio.
Yeah.
Got King Henry and IR.
Yeah, Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Sanders was really good for a while this year. He's hurt now though. Tim Patrick was really good for a while. They just shut that offense down.
Is Dak gonna come back this week, guys? He's had 2 stinkers in a row, and he's looked kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, he's playing the Giants though, so he should be all right.
You think he'll be fine, Chad?
Yeah, I think he'll be good.
The Redskins have been playing a lot better. I mean, they started out the year like, I mean, anybody could do whatever they wanted against them, and they've really kind of come together and been playing really well the last few weeks. So, I mean, I don't know. The thing is with Dak is that everybody was wrong about the situation, right? Everybody that thought that it was going to be last year where the defense sucked and they were just going to be, chucking the ball all game was wrong. They actually would rather run the ball, and that's what their offense is. They would rather run the ball when they can pass. They're supposed to be super hyper efficient, but Dak has been pretty average.
He still has one of the highest attempts in the league though.
Efficiency wise, he's been pretty average.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's still throwing the ball a bunch. I mean,
I think the first few games probably skew that though, don't they?
No, the first few games bring it down.
Let me look.
I mean,
58 week 1, 58 week 1, and then
27, 26, 22, 32.
I guess actually you're right. He's been throwing the ball more lately than he did early on.
Yeah.
Well, it's because both RBs have been injured, so
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, he legitimately has one of the highest number of attempts in the entire league. Like,
Well,
he's been throwing the ball around. He's just not been very good.
Played like shit against the Redskins. 22 out of 39 for 211 and 1 with 2 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of his picks, a couple of his picks were really bad too. I know.
Yeah, he's been throwing some bad picks, but I mean, we've had really this year has just been really subpar quarterback play. Like it's been all around bad quarterback play.
Compared to
Mahomes
what
is
we're used to.
Yeah, compared to what we're used to.
Compared to 2005, not really. You know what I mean? It's just not 17, 18. You know?
Yeah. I mean, just the way the league has changed. We're throwing the ball so much. It's just not been what it's been the last 5 or 6 years.
Defense is absolutely caught up this year, and I'm not breaking any new ground by saying this, but the 2 high safeties that you see constantly. Out of the good defenses, there are still some crappy defenses like the Raiders. The Raiders will not adjust, but it's. I don't know why it takes a whole offseason to adjust to this, but it seems like it's going to.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way. So Mahomes, let me see, 366 he has right now in the year in 14 games. 15 times 15. So he's QB4 in the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's on pace because we're just going to add one more game because last season he played 15 games and finished QB4. So this year he's the same QB4, right? But he's 70 less points on total.
Yeah, I can believe that.
It's just one of those years. Like it's a little bit, down across the board.
Right. You're not getting big plays down the field. And teams have just been slow to adjust. Teams are very happy right now to, play their coverage back and blitz. And it seems to be what I'm seeing over and over every week.
Yep.
And yeah.
No, you're good. Finish your thought because I want to go back to how we started the show. I got a decision to make. Got some questions.
Okay. No, that's it. That's all I was really all I had to say.
So this is the league I was talking about where I've got Waller out, and the only guy I've got left is Fant. So I just looked at waivers, and actually Njoku's on there, along with Vanette. And I've also got Foster Moreau, but he hasn't done much with Waller out. So should I go Njoku versus the Raiders?
I mean, do you have
that's
guys,
also on Monday.
Do you have guys that you can cut to pick these guys
I
up?
mean, I've got like Royce Freeman.
Yeah, you can cut him. Yeah. I mean, I just don't think you have to decide who you're starting tonight.
Yeah, I'd wait on it.
It's just risky. I mean, waivers are open, so anyone can get them.
I would pick them up.
pick up whatever guys you can, and then just wait and
just give yourself options, and then wait
to
get more info.
I guess the Sunday night, the Saints game is Sunday night too, so that even gives me more wait time.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like it. I mean, you're gonna really have to be waiting, and it's gonna be tough for people that have a lot of leagues. But you're really gonna have to be waiting until the last minute to make these decisions because everything's just so far up in the air. And I mean, somebody can literally test positive right before a game, and what do you do, right?
And they're screwed, right?
Yeah,
it's true.
So, I mean, with how this thing's going around, I mean, I'm not making any decisions until the last minute. It's probably going to be a whole thing, setting your rosters this week. But I mean, this is when it counts, right? So
yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I felt pretty weird today myself. Really dizzy, and just like
I did too. That's weird.
Really? I had this really
odd
dizziness that the only other time I felt it was when I had COVID.
I figured it was my crazy pills that I take. So I was like, yeah.
I went,
and because I needed caffeine or something.
I felt great. I don't know. I'm just,
I went
You got
like
that.
I spent,
You got that
I
fresh
spent
air
a,
on the farm there, Chad.
yeah.
I spent a lot of time looking for a home COVID test online and or going
Just
to
go
different.
to just go to Walmart.
No, I checked Walmart. They're out of stock. Walmart, Walgreens, Target,
Oh, really?
CVS. They were all out of stock. So
Dave,
yeah, I might. We'll see how I feel in the morning. I might go to patient first and just get a quick test.
yeah, go get that thing checked out, man. David Donaldson said, "I don't think you can commit to anyone right now," which
Yeah, it's true.
it's true.
David Donaldson thinks I'm dizzy every day.
Well, that's true, especially if we're streaming, then he's definitely dizzy most of the time.
Water.
Oh, lame. What is your deal? That's what's making these recent shows just lack pizzazz, you know?
Is that what it
drinking
is?
water.
I'm sober.
Oh man. So get this. So we had a gift exchange for like all the army people in the ROTC, and they were like, okay, like $10 limit, right? And I was like, okay, cool. People are bringing like full handles of Jack and all sorts of different like some of these bottles had to have been over 50 60 bucks, and there were like 20 of them that brought alcohol, and I was like, sir, I talked to the colonel, I was like, man, we need to have a sit down with everyone, have a talk about everybody's alcoholism in the unit.
You're in
But
the
it was a
army
good
and
time.
you're in the army and you want to try to control their drinking. I don't
Yeah, that's
think
Yeah,
so.
no, I'm just kidding. That's why I'm their driver. Right? So I always offer to drive.
Yeah, Mike's awesome for that.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
on. I mean, I am really tempted to make a cocktail, but I really am. She's upstairs. She might be upstairs. I
You
can't
have to hide
Does
it?
Mike?
Yeah, well, I can't tell her that I'm not feeling well and then go have vodka. I mean, I can if I don't want her to talk to me tomorrow or take me to patient first.
Hey, do David or Mike, you guys have any questions in the chat? I mean, I guess you don't want to commit to anyone, but I'm not sure if you're still trading or anything like that. We'll give them some thoughts.
Yeah. So anyway, that was 11.
Did you guys pick who? We just like went over Mike's team and that's it, really.
I mean, because it's the only one that matters, right?
I mean, yeah,
Just kidding.
Garrett's team as a shot. I mean, he's been hit hard with some injuries and COVID and stuff too. So
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I can predict anything. He hasn't even set his lineup.
Yeah,
I mean,
Because he's on bye.
He's on bye. He has Cousins, Elliott, Kamara, Cooks, Lockett, Waller.
Whoa,
Connor,
is this for real?
Fournette.
Sorry, Memphis is starting Davis Mills over Wentz.
Really?
He's playing. I mean, Mills is playing Jacksonville, and Wentz is against New England.
Wow.
But
I can see that.
yeah,
I mean, it's ballsy
bold
if it
move,
doesn't
Kyle.
pan out, but
It's pretty ballsy.
and he's
I'd
got
probably do the
Kylan.
same thing.
He's had Damian Harris ruled out too. So
I
yeah,
guess maybe because Davis Mills had a half decent game last week. He's like, screw it.
and it's Jacksonville. So
Yeah. Who did he play? It was Seattle, right?
yeah,
It was Seattle. Yeah, he was all right.
Wentz has
1 or 2
had
touchdowns.
3 out of Wentz's last 4 games have been shitbags.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
and
you can say
really not
the same
Wentz's
thing
fault.
about Davis Mills, right?
Yeah, exactly. I guess you go with your gut.
Yeah.
Really, it's not Wentz's fault. He did have one game where he threw 2 picks against Tampa, but that actually was his good game. He had 28 points. They've just been running the shit out of the ball. If you can run the ball like that, you don't need to. You don't need 40 attempts. 40 pass
would you
attempts.
rather let Wentz throw it or give it to Jonathan Taylor?
Right,
It's a pretty
exactly.
easy decision.
I mean, you want the Tin Man throwing the ball, or you want Johnny Boy Taylor running the ball? He's probably the best running back in football right now, right?
Yeah, probably.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. We can go over this league all we want, but I mean everything's really out the window with these
He's got
COVID.
Goddard and Gesicki on his bench.
relations.
Has he even set his lineup? He hasn't. I don't think he's even set his lineup because Wentz was on bye last week.
Who are you talking about, Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
You know, because he's also got Goddard and Gesicki on his bench. Devontae Smith. Not saying these are must starts, but guys that he
Yeah,
could at
no,
least
but he'd start them over Eskridge and probably MVS.
MVS, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. And he's got Njoku in there too. So,
He's
yeah. He'll have
I
his
heard
son
some-
make that change, right? Driving back from baseball or whatever it is.
Right. I heard a really good name for MVS. Actually, they should call him Exxon Valdez Scanley because he's always leaking footballs.
Oh gosh.
Oh, yeah. Dad joke of the day, baby. At least it's not mine. Is that a BFM? What's a BFM?
I don't know. I was just about to ask you if that's something you recognized.
Bad
I don't know.
I was gonna
motherfucker.
ask you
No,
guys.
that'd be BMF.
No, that's yeah.
Oh, I can't. Oh, we're on YouTube.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
gosh,
YouTube.
Jesse.
Sorry, YouTubes. Is he talking about my shirt? That's Bill Murray.
And he's not even drinking.
Oh, is
Oh, Bill effing Murray.
yeah, actually it is. As a
Yeah,
matter of
okay.
fact, that is Bill effing Murray.
But he threw me out with the A. Is that A Bill effing Murray?
Yes,
Like,
actually.
like an object. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe David can clarify for us. Anyways, yeah, I mean this league's gonna be up in the
Wolfie's
air.
looking pretty unaffected, actually. He might be all right.
Well, he's got Heineke, right? Yeah. And Lamar.
Oh,
So,
I'm sorry. Did I say Wolfie? I meant Joseph Fry.
Joseph Fry, yeah.
Oh,
he's
okay.
looking pretty good.
Herbert and Kyler, you know, Ramondre Stevenson, that's stroke of luck. Chase,
Yeah, right.
Mike Evans.
Especially since he's going against Memphis, who has Harris. That
Right.
sucks.
Yeah,
for
actually, that's huge
Memphis.
luck right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a couple guys out from COVID, but not as bad as some other teams. You know,
No,
Really
and
don't
he,
match up.
Waddle and Hunt, but Hunt's hurt anyway, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's looking like the least affected.
It's
By
pretty
COVID.
interesting because nobody's like super deep where you're like, man, this is not really going to matter to them.
Right.
Because I mean, one or two guys are out for Wolfie, and I mean not Wolfie. Now I'm saying Wolfie. Joseph Fry, and I mean he's hurting too. So it's going to be one of those things. Like
Yeah.
everybody is
Yeah.
going to be watching this thing to the very end.
I just hate that it can't be over Monday, that I'm going to have to wait an extra day and then
Man, I'm-
immediately set my lineup within 2 days.
Yeah, this is
I'm so
Twitter.
excited about this. I mean, I get it. Fantasy, it sucks, right? But man, football, like almost every day, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, 8 out of the
Yeah.
next 10 days. We got at least one football game.
Oh, yeah,
That's
because we got Saturday, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
My wife is gonna
Dang.
be highly
Dang.
annoyed, but it's gonna be fun.
awesome. Yeah, Wednesday
We're
and
going to be
Friday.
traveling, so I'm not going to watch anything probably.
Just listen to it. Just put it on your phone and listen to it. It'll really piss everybody off.
Where are you traveling to, Mike?
Colorado. Yeah, going to
Oh,
see
okay.
family. So we're going to stop
Nice,
in
nice.
Amarillo about 7 hours and then another like 6 to my dad's house. So
Nice, man. Nice.
my brother left from Virginia already, so he's got 2 dogs. He's making a much longer trip than me, so hats
Yeah.
off to him. But
2
Yeah.
dogs, huh?
yeah, no, I'm not doing 3 kids is bad enough for me.
So, do you guys have any leagues that you're just kind of looking at in the Patreon? You're thinking you might have a chance at winning this thing, other than Mike with P11 since we just touched on.
And P2, bro.
Well,
my
that's
only two I'm in, man. I got it.
I'm
you
a
got
lot-
it. In P2?
I hope so.
I don't think I picked you in P2.
I
don't know
did.
why.
I think Jesse did.
Yeah.
Got my Holmes,
Well, because we weren't
Kelsey,
picking the same
Eckler,
teams,
Taylor.
that's the thing.
Come on.
I wasn't picking
I'm
them
still
anyway.
alive in Patreon 10, the IDP. That's the only one I'm still alive in. So I'm playing Nick Brunette. So
Mm.
extra incentive to win because fuck that guy. I mean, F that guy. Sorry. Memphis going to get a nasty letter.
David sent you an invite.
Oh, DFW.
What's that?
I don't drink beer, David, but I appreciate it. You can give me a nice hard Coke.
Yeah.
In a can, please.
Oh,
In
Dallas.
a can.
Is that Dallas Fort
Dallas
Worth?
Fort Worth. Yeah.
Dallas Fort Worth.
I
Yeah,
think-
Mike is
think we-
the permanent designated driver.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. If we ever go to we talk about going to a Dallas game, David. So Jesse doesn't want to, so we're gonna do it next year. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not that I
Jesse's
don't
just-
want to. I can't.
We're just working machines, right? So it is what it is. But yeah, I think next year we're gonna do a Patreon get together, go to a Dallas something game that's good, and
Yeah, that's good.
we'll
That's
invite
like
you
the-
along too, David.
That's the key phrase right there, because the last thing we did was David and I went to a Houston Texans game, and it was
I keep getting Vet invites for the Texans games, and I'm like, no,
'cause have
they
nobody
like
else to
can't.
give
They
them to.
they literally can't give them away, and these are like. I mean, you saw our seats, Chad. Like, our seats weren't bad, but I'm like, why would I want to watch the Texans play
No, they were
anybody
club seats. They were club seats.
Yeah.
They were pretty good.
for $15? Like,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I would go to any NFL game and sit in the club box and drink and eat for free.
Yeah, I mean, when we went, actually, like there were so many people. The bars were all full, like inside, like everybody was just at the bars.
No one was watching
Nice.
the game. Yeah,
Yeah, nobody's
like I
watching.
would go to watch whatever team they're playing. Like they played this,
Yeah.
or are they playing the Seahawks? I don't know, but I forget who they're playing this week. No, they're playing Jacksonville this week. Last
should
week was
just
the
go-
Seahawks, right?
We should just go to one. How many more weeks do we have?
To watch the other team.
Yeah,
Yeah, who do they play? That's actually good.
I'm gonna sneak upstairs real quick. I'll be right back.
Good.
I have no idea, man.
There's Jesse's cat.
I know.
All right, I'll drink for you, and you can drive me home. That's right, David. I got you.
That's what he
That's
did
how it
for me at
works.
the game. It was pretty awesome.
Exactly.
So they
Except
got the
I will not
Chargers
charge
and
you.
the Niners.
That's who the Texans have left at home.
Yep. Or I don't know.
I'd
if
like
they-
to see Herbert destroy him. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Oh man.
Bye, David.
I can't wait for sounds like you guys are LA Charger fans.
Chargers fans. No, I'm just a Herbert fan, man. I'm a Broncos fan, but I like watching Herbert play football. Just like I like watching Mahomes play football. But it sucks
Yeah.
that they're in my division.
I'm a Giants fan, and if that was the only thing that I wanted to watch, I would be very unhappy. So I just like football. I'm just gonna watch football games. I'm gonna let the
Exactly.
Giants piss me off, and then go and watch other games. Gosh,
Yeah,
they're
right.
such a bad team. You know what? I'm just gonna get this frustration out a little bit.
Vent.
So my dad has season tickets for the Giants, right? Has for his entire life basically, and you know what they sent him? They
What?
sent him for fan appreciation. I think it made like the news in New York and stuff, but because people were pissed off about it. But for fan appreciation night, this upcoming game, they're giving everybody a medium Coke, a medium soft drink of their choice.
What?
And it's pissing everybody off. Yeah. Fan appreciation night. We're gonna give everybody a medium
Fermi
soft
cough.
drink, and you guys can enjoy us getting blown out like by 40 points.
Oh my gosh, that's
It's-
ridiculous.
Dude, it's so insulting. And their tickets are so expensive. It's ridiculous. My dad's like, I can't believe I paid for this shit. Like I just he's like he texted me the other day and he was like, man, I just want to find like a Cowboys fan and just give him the tickets. just so that there's one less Giants fan has to watch this shit.
You know he's got to do like the actual joke of like putting them in someone's stocking that like for Cole and a note on it that says I was gonna put Cole but this is worse. And then it's just the Giants tickets.
Nice.
It's so bad, man. It's so bad. Yeah, Mike said, did they give you a refill with that drink? I doubt it, man. I doubt it.
Free iced refills.
It's just one medium drink. Yeah, so
It's
Which
not
is-
even a
which is
beer.
good,
Like,
because they
come
wouldn't-
on
they wouldn't make it a large because nobody sits in the stadium that long to watch that fight.
to finish it.
Sorry.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, man. Yeah, saves in fairness a premium, so
$7.50.
it saves a fan $7.50. Yeah, it's true, man. But it would save even more if we just stopped buying these tickets. Tell my dad he should just give up his season tickets because this is gonna last forever. But anyways, enough
Didn't
about
it feel like that before David Tyree pinned that ball against his helmet, though?
No, I
A
mean
little?
we were. No,
I mean, yeah,
we were
I know you guys always had a good defense in those days.
competitive. I mean, we
But
were
did
still.
you believe in Eli that much?
Oh yeah, everybody.
Did you
believed
really?
it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, because I never believed McNabb would do anything but throw up on the field in a Super Bowl.
No, everybody loved Eli. I mean, Eli. It's kind of hard to explain to people who aren't Giants fans how like the appreciation everybody has for Eli. Eli is like, if you're a Giants fan, Eli is like it's almost like watching your son play football. You're like, you're just proud of him. You love him, and you just want to hug him like that. Yeah, Eli.
There you go, buddy. Every
Yeah.
time he says something on that Monday night feed, I'm like, it's cringy. It's like I started
He's
to watch
great,
it,
man. He's
to watch
fantastic.
it, and I was going to turn it off, and then I realized that, like, he's definitely like the dumb little brother to Peyton. It's hilarious. He says like the weirdest things sometimes, and Peyton's like change the subject real quick or whatever. I don't know. I wish I had an example, but it just felt a little like Michael Scott.
I'll tell you one thing about Eli and the players around him. There hasn't been one, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but because I know I'm not. So there hasn't been one player that's left the Giants that's found success, that has been successful with Eli. Not one.
Without Eli?
Yeah, skill player.
That's true.
Not one. Victor Cruz left. Hakeem Nicks left.
Where did Victor Cruz was done? But where did
Odell
he go?
left? He went to Chicago, I think.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he was done.
Yeah. What's his name? Steve Smith, who was had multiple 1,000-yard seasons before he left.
Yeah, I remember he was done too. He came to the Eagles and didn't even make the team.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't done when he left. People thought he was going to be good.
No, he was physically done. His knee was like in 4 pieces. Like he couldn't make the team, the Eagles, out of training camp when he was like 27. Like he wasn't.
I don't think he went to the Eagles straight away then, because when he left the Giants, it was because the Giants didn't pay him. He didn't.
Yeah, but they didn't pay him because he was done.
No,
he went right to the Eagles and didn't make the team. I'll look him up right now.
And then what's his name? Sideline catch. Oh man, in the 2012 Super Bowl. Gosh, of course I'm gonna forget his name. But yeah, I mean it's there's been no player that has been successful.
I believe it. I mean, it's not like you had a plethora of, awesome players. Didn't I guess Rashad Jennings play pretty well with the Colts for a little bit, for like 4 games?
I mean, not really, but he was never the Giants.
Not Rashad Jennings. Who was the running back that went to the Colts?
Ahmad Bradshaw?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking.
He wasn't really ever any good.
I mean, he had a couple of good games, and then he just could never stay healthy. All right.
But yeah, I mean, everybody declined. So say what you will about Eli, but he made the players he played with work. Let me see. All right.
Yeah, Steve Smith went from the Giants to the Eagles and did not make the team out of training camp.
Jeez.
And then to the Rams, and then the Bucks, and then out of football.
Well, gents, I'm online, so if I go out, it's because I'm picking someone up, but I might hop back in. So.
Yeah, just mute us. I mean, just mute yourself and listen to us.
Well, so I'm wondering if I mute myself, if I can put music on in the background, because they might be like, "What are you doing?"
Are you
trying to pull it back up?
Me?
Yeah, right. I mean, I got a camera in here recording them anyway, so make sure.
Yeah, they're gonna go and see themselves on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
Is that something that came in your? Because you just bought a new Honda, right?
Yeah,
So is that like aftermarket? Did you go buy that, or is it something that came
the
that fits with your
camera.
car?
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
just got it on Amazon.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
Riveting talk we're having here.
I know.
Oh my
Jeez,
God!
I
Let's
know.
move on. Let's move on to
We
Patreon
have
12.
zero
Let's do it.
watchers.
All right, Patreon 12. So we've got with a bye is Memphis and
Yeah, Memphis is in a lot of playoffs, huh?
well, he's in a lot of leagues.
Yeah, a decent amount of
Oh,
playoffs.
Dave Slom, right? Dave Slomsky. Ah, Dave, good job, Dave. All right, so
Good job.
we also have Campy in the playoffs. All right, that's the first Campy sighting in the playoffs.
Nice, Campy.
He's playing Lions Pride, and then Double Eagle. Oh no, Double DZ13. He must be new. And MJ T Hill. I'm gonna say, yeah, these guys are new. So nice, new guys in the playoffs. I love it.
Nice.
Good.
And this was the
Unfamiliar
last
faces.
Patreon league, right?
This is the last Patreon league, right? Well, not the last ever, but the last one that was drafted.
Yeah, this past offseason.
Anybody in chat know what the gimmick was for this? Not that there's always a gimmick or anything, but usually, excuse me, usually there's something
Like
going
anything
on with these.
different about the format?
Yeah, I don't actually have the league.
Oh, I
can't
remember.
really see it. Oh yeah, you do.
I remember. This was the live draft.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
for like the first round.
Yeah, Memphis and Jerry teamed up on this team. So this is I guess the first time that they ever partnered.
So this is a 0.75 premium, and then I guess one of the biggest differences with this league as to normal kind of standard formats is that a pick six is -6 points.
Oh, really?
So,
Damn.
but that so riddle me this. So it says pick six thrown is -6, and an interception is -2. So does that mean a pick six is -8?
Yep.
I guess so.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
So pick six
So
is
Stacy's Campy's partner in this league. Nah, that makes sense. That's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we knew Campy couldn't do it on his own.
Yeah. So Stacy's fairly new blood too. I remember this past offseason. I remember him coming into the chat. So because I remember specifically because I remember offline a couple of us were talking about, well, let's just say hi, Stacy, and not like, hey, what's up, dude? Or you're like, let's not assume it's either a man or a woman.
yeah, we didn't know.
So I think we found out pretty quickly.
Well, Stacy and Campy, I mean, they came out swinging with Kelsey there. So I mean, they also have CH and Mike Williams who did okay, but they're 3 players in at 65 points. That's not bad at all. So
not bad at all. Yeah,
they've got a good shot at taking this thing.
Yeah, Dirty Randy's got a good team. Don't get me wrong. Diggs and Cooper, Gibby, Rashad Penny's pretty. I want to look at that. So he's had Rashad Penny on his roster that he drafted in the startup in the 23rd round, and now he gets to start him in the playoffs.
Yep,
that's pretty
that's
key
how it
right
works
there.
sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. That's what Dynasty's all about, if you ask me. Because that's not something you can really do in redraft. Benches aren't deep enough in most redraft leagues. That's what Dynasty's all about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take this hurt guy and plop him on my bench until he's healthy, or I'm gonna take this super young guy and plop him on my bench until he learns the NFL and starts playing. You know what I mean? Until he puts up points.
even a guy like Dawson Knox, he drafted Dawson Knox in the 18th round.
Nice.
And he's been a major contributor on his roster this year. So
yeah, actually, that's something that I forgot about. Something I sort of have been taking for granted, but I forgot about that. Dawson Knox was just another
another free piece.
Yeah, he was just he was Irv Smith, I guess. You know what I mean? All the potential in the world, just hasn't done anything with it yet.
Yeah, but I mean, Irv Smith was going for a stupid price this offseason. But
Well, I
Dawson
guess-
Knox was in the mud.
I guess a better comparison would be who's the Panthers tight end with all the potential that just is
Ian
total bust.
Ian Thomas.
Ian Thomas.
Ian Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Dawson Knox was Ian Thomas before the season,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now he's Dawson Knox.
Yep.
So yeah, this I mean, he's got a full line. He doesn't have any holes in his lineup, you know. And he's Josh Allen. Well, Bridgewater. You know, Bridgewater's the
Bridgewater
only
as a whole. Yeah.
right.
Does he have anybody? No other quarterback. So I mean,
no, he's got a bunch of backups otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, he had Jameis, you know.
So, question for you guys then: if you're him and you have Bridgewater there, are you even contemplating starting anybody else in that spot against Cincinnati, or are you just going with Bridgewater and hope he has one of his 15 to 18 point games?
I mean,
What are his other options?
I'm looking at his bench.
I'm just
He's
saying
got the best thing
Odell.
he's got is right. If
he
Odell plays,
yeah, if he plays, Bateman.
Uzoma is too up and down. Bateman or
Yeah, so he really doesn't have anybody else, honestly. It would just be Odell, I guess.
Michael Carter might come off IR.
Yeah, that's another one. Mike.
Yeah, supposed to.
So all right, let's say see a guy coming off IR and iffy to start, and then game time decision.
Especially a running back. Yeah, I'm not messing with that.
I'm not starting.
Yeah, I
that
can't.
Over a
Yeah, Edmonds, Carter. I'm not touching those guys this week.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I'll wait and see if I make it.
If
I think it's pretty easy for him to go just Bridgewater because worst case scenario, Bridgewater's probably going to give you like 8 points, which is
8 to 10.
Pretty decent showing, from almost anybody else on his bench right now. So
yeah, but it's a legit question, you know. I mean,
yeah, especially if you get further along the maybe if you get further along the week and you see that hey maybe you're not because he's in the 3:00 game, Bridgewater is, so if you're really getting beat up by that 3:00 game and it's looking like you're going to need more points than Bridgewater.
Then what? Then what are you going to do though? Well,
I guess Odell.
Hope for Osmell.
Yeah, I guess
I might. See,
but
I might.
Would like 18 points be the highest you could get from Odell? Like, at least with Bridgewater, like there's a chance of a shootout there, right? Like,
I look at it like
the Bengals are crazy.
I mean, I thought Memphis had some really good advice on last night's game. Like, if you have a guy that you can start in this game over somebody that's very iffy with COVID, do it and get your points while you can.
Yeah.
Odell. That's
the
that's
last
probably
3
where I would
weeks.
lean.
The last 3 weeks, Odell has outscored Teddy Bridgewater.
So that's what I'm saying. If it was a normal week and I knew Odell was going to play, yes, I probably would. But this week, no. I'm going to take the points out. Like if I know Teddy Bridgewater's starting on Saturday, I'm taking the guarantee.
Oh yeah,
points.
of course.
I can't on a week like this in a playoff game. The worst thing to me is taking a 0.
Taking a 0, yeah, definitely.
The two things I can't do is bench a star that might not be playing well, say like Saquon. I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that either.
I can't because it's gonna kill me more to see him blow up on my bench than to see, put up a crap bag in my lineup, and then, if Devontae Booker vultures him, then so be it. That's the way it happens. Or if their offense is just complete crap, then so be it. But I'm going out with my best player.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how I see it. I mean, and to each his own. And it's also all about risk tolerance as well. If other people feel differently than that, it's your dime, man. Please play the game. Play the game like you want. I'm just speaking purely from like my emotional standpoint.
Who are you guys picking between Campy and Lions Pride?
Let's see.
Let's just assume everybody's healthy. That they have in their starting lineup right now and doesn't control COVID.
Can you go over their rosters real quick?
It's so I'll go over Campy's first. He has Lamar Jackson, CEH, Mike Williams, Kelsey, who's already played. Mike Williams already played, and Clyde already played too. So Hubbard, Gronk, Hollywood, Joe Mixon, Terry McLaurin, and Cousins. And then Lions Pride has Josh Allen, Najee, Mike Evans, Dawson Knox, Aaron Jones, Rashad Penny, Gibson, Cooper, Diggs, and Bridgewater. So we can either just go as a whole and make our pick, or we can go player by player and or matchup to matchup and see whatever you guys want to do. But I think I'm leaning Lions Pride as well. But I mean, I don't know. This is going to be a close one, I think.
Well, here's the problem: Lamar's probably not going to play.
Yeah, that was the big issue for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, who's taking Lamar's place?
He's got Glennon.
Are they leaning towards he's not playing at all? Really?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they came out with a report today saying he's not looking like he's making much progress, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Glennon.
Who knows?
Case Keenum.
Ugh.
PJ Walker and
he doesn't
Sam
have
Darnold.
any quarterback. Yeah, he doesn't have any quarterback to start. So he'd have to start a skill player.
I mean, if Keenum plays, but he
Ernest Johnson is one of the few people without COVID on the Browns. You know, I mean, he's a viable player, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He'll play slot.
Play quarterback.
Yeah, right.
Well, the Broncos had to do it last year.
Yeah.
They did it on 24 hours notice, but hey, you know what? It's different for playoff contending teams.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
freaking NFL.
They could pull in New England and just run the ball, every single play.
You guys broke protocol. That's what happened. You had everybody hanging out in the same room. All your three quarterbacks hanging out in the same room with no masks.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with the Lamar Jackson thing, if he doesn't play, I mean, it's pretty easy. Lions Pride. He's gonna probably take this thing. Which sucks because Campy and Stacy, they have a good team. So
yeah, they absolutely do.
It's unfortunate.
They could. Waddle could surprisingly come off the COVID list. They haven't moved that game yet, though.
Yeah. Are you guys? So, do you guys have Parker in a decent amount of leagues or anywhere? Or
Devontae Parker?
I only have him in one league, and I'm not starting him.
No,
but it's a good game. It's a sneaky.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one.
I don't have him anywhere in any team that's playing this week.
I have him a couple of places. He's just one of those guys that.
Do you just like him because Waddle is out? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, yeah, the
the
offense
Jets.
has looked pretty good, and they're playing the Jets, and that's everybody's been scoring 1 million points against the Jets, so and he didn't look that bad last week. I mean,
Tua is a stud,
Of course, we know you think that.
You are his adopted father, so.
But I mean, he was pretty efficient. He was pretty efficient against the Giants. He caught all 5 of his targets for 62 yards. I mean, it was pretty decent. I think without Waddle there, and Waddle got a pretty heavy workload. So without Waddle there, and against a worse defense than the Giants have, by all accounts, I mean, I mean, I think he could see a pretty good game, and he hasn't been bad in areas where he started. I mean,
I like Devontae Parker. He's just been hurt all year.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So his targets, he's seen 7, 9, 7, 9, 11, 5. So, I mean, and that's with Waddle, so.
I like Devontae Parker. I think he's an excellent player. It took him a long time to develop. He's probably some sort of knucklehead that matured a little bit and got his shit turned around, and I like him. He's a very gifted player that has kind of put it together. And now has a stud quarterback after all these years.
Yeah, he's going to need to get those injuries taken care of. That's going to be.
You like how I stuck that one in.
Tua has looked really, really, really good though.
So speaking of Tua, has his stock gone up? Is that what's going on with him?
Yeah, his stock's gone up.
Because I can't see him. I can't see him at all. To me,
I mean,
to me,
people were trying to give him away a number of weeks ago. When he was really struggling earlier in the season, people were giving him away. I mean, it was something where they were taking like, I mean, you could probably get him for a very, very late first and call it a day for a starting quarterback.
I wish I knew
not
that.
bad. I think probably like a little bit, maybe a tad higher than Daniel Jones, maybe even like right on par with Daniel Jones earlier in the year.
Yeah, see, I wish I had capitalized on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I already have him in a lot of places, so
I don't have him anywhere. I don't have him anywhere. Yeah, because quarterback is just one of those places that I really like to put a lot of my assets into. And so majority of my leagues, I have steady quarterback play. And anything less than that is not really, ideal for me. It's the first thing I try to fix. And so with Tua, anywhere that I had him, I either sold him when he was, when his hype was still pretty decent, or kind of just,
so you're not
have
really
him at all.
So you don't? Are you saying you wouldn't really? You don't really like to wait around for quarterbacks to develop? Is that what you're saying? You'll put more
depends. It depends. It depends.
Guys.
I like to really buy low on. I like to really buy low on quarterbacks. I mean, I do this with a number of positions. I like to really buy low on quarterbacks that maybe see the tail end of the draft, like your Justin Herberts, your Daniel Joneses, your Josh Allen's, those kind of guys that go really late in rookie drafts, and try to get whatever guy goes last, and hope that eventually their stock rises. They have a few good games, or they start catching on and people start saying, okay, this guy's actually pretty good, or he looks like he could be legit. Then I like to capitalize on that and then, round up my assets and go get a quarterback that I really believe is going to be steady for a number of years, rather than just betting that, hey, this guy looks like he could be a top 5 quarterback for the next, decade and a half, when I can just go out and get a guy like, I could get Justin Herbert, sell Justin Herbert for 3 firsts, then go get a guy like David Carr for a back end first, or you could get him for, a second or 2 seconds or something at sometime last year. He was going super cheap. And
so you like to play the stock up, stock down game.
Yeah.
And kind of try to play the stock market, arbitrage your team a little bit, gain assets, and then go get your guy.
Because if I can have a guy like Derek Carr for 1/6 of the price that I sold Justin Herbert for, and use Carr as my third quarterback, because I already know I'm going to have 2 good quarterbacks, then I'm fine with that, right? Like, is Justin Herbert ever going to be worth more than 3 firsts? Probably not.
Right. I could see him getting to the point in a couple of years where he's the number 1 quarterback in football, though.
Yeah, for sure. But is that much more than 3 firsts? Like,
I don't know. I don't know what was Mahomes worth at the start of the year. Whatever that was.
Like a tad more than 3 firsts, which I wasn't paying that for him either. So
yeah, I don't know, because I would never pay it, and I probably wouldn't sell him either. You know what I mean? Now knowing what I know now, of course, I'd go back and sell him at the beginning of the season, or I would have never spent all of my auction money on him, but I get what you're saying. I think
that's like Jonathan Taylor, right? Like, I sold Jonathan Taylor everywhere, and I don't regret it. Like, people will be like, oh, you sold Jonathan Taylor before the hype, or before the production came. Yeah, but I sold him as if he had the production already. Yeah. Right? Like, I sold him for over 2 first. Like, I got 2 first and a decent running back for him. When before the production came. Once the production came, I was like, oh shoot, that sucks. But you know what? I still got paid, as if that production was there.
You still have the money in the bank. So you're
exactly.
fine.
And if it didn't work out, then I made out like a bandit. So it's just one of those things. You do that enough times, and eventually, you're gonna come out ahead.
Right. That's how a team builds depth.
Yeah. So, I mean, people can look at it like, oh, you sold Jonathan Taylor too early. But, I probably could have gotten like maybe an early second more than what I got. And that's not really worth the risk holding him if that production never comes, or if he gets injured or.
So what I'm doing right now is, because I'm new at Dynasty, what I did in my startups this offseason was I identified veteran quarterbacks that I really like that either had a change in situation that I thought was really good, or just were undervalued in some way, like Russ and Stafford. And I went after those guys really hard.
Mhm.
I have a lot of I think I have Stafford in every single startup I did this offseason
Yeah.
because I was getting him in like the third, fourth round. To me, it was an absolute no brainer. So that's number one. That's what I try to do is like get the veterans that people are kind of down on,
Mhm.
that aren't being hyped right now, but have, like Russ, it's just put up numbers for so long. People have this stupid narrative that he's a first half or second half player and whatever.
And he's struggling, and people are bored of him right now.
And people were bored of him last season too.
Yeah.
And he was sort of down to end the year. So, I tried to trade him in one league and I couldn't. The offers I got were just awful. So I started buying him. And that's what triggered me to start drafting him as late as I, did. And same with Stafford. And then I will take, and then I'll kind of look at young quarterbacks, sort of like what you do is not the same exact thing as what you do, where you wait to take guys, you'll take the last rookie or whatever.
Yeah.
I was looking at younger quarterbacks that have been in the league a couple years, but, or a year like Tua. I took a couple of Daniel Jones's late, these were all 7th, 8th round. I don't think is a real risk, to take a quarterback there. So that's why I got a lot of Tua's, because he just wasn't. But then I tried to trade Hurts for him straight up last week and got flat out denied. And this is for a playoff team that has aspirations of winning it all.
Yeah.
Would not trade the quarterback 5 or 6 or whatever Hurts is, would not give up Tua for him. Yeah. Which I was a little surprised about, to be perfectly honest. And I started asking in chat about that, in the Patreon chat about that. Like, and what I got back was straight up everybody wanted Tua over Hurts. I thought the temptation that Hurts might win you a championship would be there, but I guess there also isn't any recency bias with that either, because Minshew is the last thing we saw.
Yeah. Yeah, and Tua has been playing well. That's the thing too.
Yes, because he's a stud.
Yeah, he's been playing well, so it's just I'm just gonna go along with whatever Jesse says about Tua from now on.
Man, we're still talking Tua. I thought I really thought I escaped that with my last ride.
Jesse just he found a way to circle back around.
Yeah, no, I circled back. We were just sort of talking. We were just sort of talking quarterback philosophy overall, and like
so I'll just add one last thing. Like even guys that I really like, right? Like I don't play favorites with these guys. Like Dak, I love Dak. I think Dak is a really good quarterback and a really good offense. I think he's maybe struggling a little bit right now. But I have a team that I'm in a complete rebuild in, or I just jumped into a complete rebuild. I guess like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And Dak was one of my largest assets that I had to offload, and I sold him for the 101, the one what's going to be the 112, and Zach Wilson.
Wow, that's a lot.
And so I'll go and I'll grab a quarterback with the 101, probably, maybe a running back, who knows, right? Depends on how
Spiller, baby.
Yeah, we'll see how things shake up. These things are always changing. I'm going to go with whatever. Sure. I'm probably going to try to trade the pick, but if not, I'll go with whatever's hypey and kind of try to sell off on it early.
Right.
And then pick whatever last quarterback ends up at that 112 area. If I have to trade up a slot, so be it. And then have Zach Wilson, and maybe Zach Wilson pans out, right? Or maybe one of the other guys pans out along with Zach Wilson. Then I have 2 quarterbacks, right? So it's just one of those things. Like I'm always looking to move on from assets at certain times, and then other times, buy like you said with Russ, right? Like I would buy Russ in a lot of places right now, if somebody was willing to offload him, because
absolutely.
The good thing about Russ is if you look into the future, right? It's very, very, very plausible that Russ moves on from Seattle, right? And once he does that, the Stafford effect kicks in immediately.
Yep.
Right? Where people are like, oh, new team. This is fresh. This is new. This is exciting. And then he becomes an instant sell.
New hotness.
An instant sell. Right? So you can go, and that could be such a short-term flip for you.
Yeah.
Agreed. And it's one of those things not a lot of people are thinking about, because it's Russ. We've seen him forever. We've had him forever. We know what he does, and people are bored of him. People don't want him on their roster anymore. They want the new guy. I was gonna say the Trevor Lawrences, but nobody wants Trevor Lawrence.
So let me put your Dak trade in context. All right. So I drafted Dak in a league that I felt like I didn't have enough depth, and I drafted Dak like 4th or 5th overall, where I thought it just felt a little high to me for like from a point standpoint, but from a value standpoint, it seemed fine. So I drafted him with the intention of trading him, and then I traded. But the best I could do was Trevor. I traded him for the 101, which was Trevor, and the 212. But I did it during the draft.
Yeah,
So,
and
so I got Freiermuth.
Last year's 101 and this year's 101 are completely different beasts.
Absolutely,
right?
But I got Trevor and Fryer. I traded him. It was when the 212 was on the clock is when I pulled the trigger. So I saw who was on the board, and I took Freiermuth.
Yeah.
Right. So Trevor and Freiermuth, as opposed to what you got, is more. I think what you got, is more.
Well, yeah, I think so too. But we're also like revisionist history, right? So Trevor at the time was the first round quarterback in startups. He was Trevor Lawrence,
Right.
The guy we're looking at now is not Trevor Lawrence. He's, whatever guy Urban Meyer made him into, or whatever guy he's decided to be in the NFL thus far. But,
watch him throw 4 touchdowns during the Texans this week.
I know, right? But back then, I would love it. I have so much of them. So,
me too.
I, for the life of me, cannot remember who was Darrell Bevel with. Was it the Lions? Who was the last?
I think so.
Right.
Yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah,
he was the OC, I think.
Yeah.
Was he the check down guy that his entire offense was based on checkdowns to the running back, or was that Jim Bob Cooter?
No. I don't think the Lions offense was ever checked down to the running back.
Jim Bob Cooter.
They didn't have a running back.
Yeah, when they had they had that little scat back running back that all they did was dump down to him.
Abdullah, right?
Before Abdullah, actually. He was around. He bounced around after that. He went to Seattle, I think, but never really caught on anywhere else. That is going to kill me.
Yeah.
Riddick. Theo
Riddick.
Boom. Had his face in my mind.
Good one.
Jim Bob Cooter was his greatest fan.
Whoops. Sorry. Sorry, did you hear him honking at me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sunday driver.
Yeah, I mean, it's, gosh, man, if Trevor Lawrence, even this many years into playing Dynasty, I still make these mistakes because I always tell, what do I always tell you guys? There's no such thing as a guaranteed player, right? There's no such thing.
Right.
So why in the world did I go out and get so much Trevor Lawrence? And when I say so much Trevor Lawrence, I mean so much compared to how many, because I usually like to keep myself at 33% per player with how many leagues I have. It just is a pretty number for me. So 33% is what I like to keep on just the max ownership I'll have of a player, because players always screw you over if you have too many of them, right?
Yeah, sure.
So
Robert Woods.
I have 50% Trevor Lawrence. I don't know why. I don't know why. Why did I do that? Right? So it broke every rule that I've ever had in playing Dynasty.
Did you have
all the lessons
a lot of 101s?
What's that?
Did you tank effectively and just naturally have a lot of 101s?
No, these are 101s that I've just acquired. I just by doing exactly what I said, was selling players off at the right time and buying players at the right time and then selling them off again. And so I don't think in any of the leagues that I got Trevor in, I actually finished as the 112 and had the 101 myself. I think I had a lot of 111s because there was so many people that actually tanked it and set lineups and stuff like that in my leagues because they wanted Trevor. And so for those
poop heads.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not really willing to do that. So,
Yeah.
I missed out on some leagues with Trevor. But in those leagues, I probably would have sold him because going over 50% is like, not something I'm willing to do at all. But
I got the 101 naturally in two leagues. I got Trevor naturally in 3 leagues. I got him with the 101 twice and with the 102 in that one league.
oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I traded for him. I traded for the 101 in one league.
Yeah. That's one thing I didn't do, which I'm happy I didn't. I didn't trade up to get Trevor in any leagues. I might have traded to get the 101, like, in the beginning of the season or something before. If I looked at a team and I said, this guy's going to have the 101 and found a way to get his pick. But I didn't I wasn't buying high on.
I ended up giving up. It was like Wentz and Mixon.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had to flip other pieces and back and forth and this and that. But
even right now, that's not like atrocious. Like even looking back on it now, it's not atrocious. And Mixon's
I'm actually happy with it. I still
high.
see Trevor as a building piece, and I also see him as a player that if they hire the right head coach, his stock is going to go through the roof.
Yeah. Though, the one thing that that I think I see Dynasty a little bit different than some people is I always look at the in between values, right? So like if I have a player, I don't care what he's going to be 5-10 years from now, right? I want to know what he's going to be tomorrow, because tomorrow is just another opportunity to sell him.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to know if the piece I'm acquiring is going to have recent value, and if his value tanks, then of course I want to make sure that I like the player. But that's the first thing I'm looking at. So with Trevor, what kind of hurts is that I believe in the player and I think he's going to work out, but it still just hurts that the value up until then is not where I thought it would be. I thought he would be in that Justin Herbert kind of range where I can go and sell him for 3+ first.
Right. Yeah, agreed. I by no means am I giving up on him. I absolutely think that he'll regain that value, hopefully this offseason. But all it takes is like really all it takes is the right head coach, and immediately his value comes back. Right. And then if he just goes through, say, like Tua's arc for this season, that sort of progression, he's fine. He's 3
or so many other quarterbacks that we've seen in the league, right? Like, I mean, it's one of those things. Like we've been, we've been blessed with a lot of quarterbacks that have come out and played their ass off right away. But, even some of the guys haven't shown that right away. Like even you look at even recently, Lamar and Josh Allen. Yeah. Even to an extent, Kyler in his first half a season was fairly bad.
That's true. And Kyler's a different quarterback this year than he was last year.
Exactly.
He's a better quarterback this year.
Exactly.
A much better quarterback this year than he was last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last year I felt like he was sort of putting up numbers as a result of the scheme, the talent around him, and his rushing. Yeah. I didn't think that he was. I didn't think he was playing all that well as a passer. And this year he's played lights out. He's had maybe a down game or two, but man, to me he's he's probably the third most valuable dynasty player to me.
Yeah.
I would say, just behind Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Just behind them though, not far. I saw, actually, I don't know if Dave Donaldson is in chat anymore, but he was saying that he didn't think that Mahomes was the 101 in a startup anymore.
I can see it. I can honestly see it. I mean, I like Lamar. I mean, I like Mahomes for his high floor, but I don't think he's the 101 in every single person's mind anymore. I think he's.
I mean, I absolutely would, and a lot of that stems from my belief in the talent first, and I guess first is my belief in the coach, and then second the belief in the talent. Mm-hmm. So I really think that they're going to restock that team with talent and revamp that scheme in the offseason, and he'll come out firing next year.
Well, there is not a quarterback that I can think of off the top of my head that we've not seen struggle for a decent amount of time, if not this season, then at least last season. Like Dak struggling, right, for a part of the year.
Oh,
Justin
yeah,
Herbert struggled for a part of the year.
It's the story of this year.
It's just Mahomes' struggle was just so bad.
Yeah.
That it's thrown a lot of people off.
He really tried to force it. It was quite obvious that he tried to force it. And he's gonna have to do some maturing in the offseason.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that he never had to go through any struggles early on. You know, not those kind of struggles.
The only thing,
that kind of frustration.
The only thing that scares me about Mahomes, right, and this is just like nitpicky, right? It's not like something that I'm actually actively taking into consideration when I'm drafting him, right? Because he's my 101 too. But if I was to look back, you know, a year from now or 2 years, 3 years from now, and say, damn, like I was wrong in picking Mahomes the 101, what I think would happen is that he loses some of his weapons and he's not the same guy, because we saw Alex Smith look really good in that offense, right? Mm-hmm. With Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and and Andy Reid. I'm very interested to see what he looks like when he doesn't have, you know, the best tight end in the league, arguably the best wide receiver in the league. And I say arguably because I don't think he is, but I wouldn't argue with somebody that says they think he is. But you know, it's just one of those, and one of the best offensive minds in the league with Andy Reid, which he should be there for a long time. But
who do you think is the best wide receiver in the league? Not
Devonta Adams.
Not who you would. Oh yeah, you're right. Devonta. I forgot about him. All right, so second, not who you would most like to have on your team. Who you?
Just right now. Right now.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's tough. That's tough because there's so many guys that are really close together. Mm-hmm. Young guys and older guys. I don't. Who do you have in mind?
There's one guy to me that is just solid AF, and that's Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I wouldn't.
I'm not saying I would take. I'm not saying like.
No, I get what you're saying. You're just saying
I would
like
take
as
him
a
over Tyreek.
Yeah, you're just saying you had to go win a game tomorrow.
He runs the. Well, actually, you know what? I'm wrong about that. Actually, I probably have him third. I probably have Antonio Brown second.
Wow. Yeah, that's a.
No one runs a better route than that guy, and he's still got explosion to spare. Like, and you know who else? Odell is probably still top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, if not higher, just talent-wise. That guy on a good offense with a good quarterback and a coach that knows how to use him, man, I'm telling you, if you can get him this offseason for less than a first, do it.
Oh, yeah. I just got him for a second right before, right when he moved to the Rams. I was like, oh,
nice.
Let me go get him.
Nice.
And that's my first Odell share, too. I wasn't buying him on the Browns, but as soon as he left that offense.
Right. My problem is with Odell is that I'm in a lot of leagues with Neil.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm probably in 15 leagues with Neil, so I'm not getting them.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah, I actually feel I was really happy about my Odell trade before the season started. I traded him for Kendrick Bourne, Rager, and Sterling Shepard. Yeah. And I was like, yup, I got 3 guys that'll play against one dog that is crap, right? Yeah. These guys, I wasn't looking, I was just like, hey, I got 3 backups for a dog, you know?
Yeah.
And it turned out, although, goddamn, Sterling Shepard drives me crazy. That guy drives me nuts.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I guess he drives you a little more nuts.
Yeah, he drives me more nuts than anybody in the world.
He's like, he's to me, he's very similar to Nelson Aguilar in a certain way, where they're both extremely talented players with a fatal flaw, right? Aguilar can't catch a cold. That's his flaw, right? And Shepard just can't stay on the field.
Yeah.
Although there have been a million players like Sterling Shepard that just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, it happens. It's football. It's a violent game.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of these guys are such freak athletes that their ligaments and joints just can't
keep up. Yeah,
and they just explode. Like their ligaments explode.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tyreek. I think Devonta Adams would be my first, and then if I had to go win a game tomorrow, I'm taking Tyreek.
well, that's a different question. If I have to win a game tomorrow, I'm taking Tyreek as my second guy as well.
Okay. So what's the question then?
Who's the best wide receiver?
I think Tyreek.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't think it's
That's
best. I
fine.
think it's second best. But
He's second best, right? Devontae
Yeah.
is obviously
Yeah.
first. I mean,
Yeah.
he just that guy's amazing. He just gets open when he absolutely there's no way in the world he should get open against three guys covering him. Not a problem. I got you. But also a lot to be said for his connection with Aaron Rodgers.
Let me ask you this. So any wide receiver that is in the league that people don't consider a wide receiver one, and I'm not talking about production. I'm talking about like they look at a roster and say this guy isn't a wide receiver one, right? Like he's not. Maybe not even talent wise, just perception wise.
Okay.
Right? Like, who's your favorite guy in the league? And I'll tell you mine. I have him everywhere I could possibly have him because he was borderline free in a lot of leagues.
My favorite guy in the league that I think is a wide receiver one, but isn't considered one.
No, not necessarily. He's a wide receiver one. Just a guy that is. He's not a wide receiver one. You don't have to think he's a wide receiver one, but you just really like him, like his production.
Like his production or like his talent?
Both.
Okay. Well, I don't like Rager's production, but I love him.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's go with production. Let's go with somebody that's showing it right now. We're not just like, basing it off of.
Does Tyler Lockett count?
Yeah, Tyler Lockett's a good one. I think that's a really good one. Yeah. Tyler Lockett's a really good one. I think he's borderline because I think some people do kind of consider him in that, I guess before this season, like the borderline wide receiver one kind of category. But I think that's a good one. No. He's too good. He's too good.
He's always been a wide receiver.
I would say like maybe before this season, like a guy like Debo was one.
I love Debo.
But my favorite, I love Debo too. My favorite is Hunter Renfrow. I think he's so good. He's so good
really
for
is.
What he is.
He really is. He's hilarious too. He looks like he is like a 16-year-old kid that got conscripted to fight for the Confederate Army, and he's like, huh? Like, huh? Where do I go?
Not only is it just hilarious that he's good, but he's like legitimately good. And it's funny, like you remember
he's like better Cole Beasley. He's better Cole Beasley.
That's exactly what he is. Do you remember before the season? I think it was like it was during the joint practices before the season started. And I don't know why this popped into my mind last week, but it did. And now I can't get it out of my mind. But Hunter Renfrow had said something about how in joint practices he was going up against Jalen Ramsey and he was eating Jalen Ramsey alive, right? And he was like, if I can do this against Jalen Ramsey, I can do it against everybody. And everybody had a field day. Everybody laughed at him. They thought it was hilarious. Like, go sit down, dude. And so here he is, like, just tearing it up this year.
Do you know the story about the secret route?
Mm-mm.
So it's not really secret. Right, but they wouldn't talk about it. He and Gruden wouldn't talk about it. Where it's a goal line route. The only other person I've seen run it is Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp can run it with absolute precision. But it's a goal line route where I think he's in the slot, and it's like a triple cut basically. Like he cuts out in and then back out, and by the time he makes the first step to go back out, the other guy's still going the other way, and he. All you see on the broadcast is that he's wide open. But I saw someone break it down. Brett Coleman, actually, if you want to see a really good tape guy,
I like Brett Coleman. Yeah,
he's really good. I saw him break it down, and Gruden and Hunter Renfrow wouldn't talk about it. Like someone asked them in a press conference, like, "What was that route? What do you call it? What's that play?" And they were like, I don't. Both of them were like, "I don't really know what you're talking about. It was just an out." It's just an out route. I don't know what you're saying. So like they started calling it the secret route. But yeah, it's a triple cut that most wide receivers can't do at all. Would never
Yeah.
even dream of doing. And the only, like I said, the only other person I've seen do it is Cooper Cup. Can you put up Mike Kinney's comment, by the way?
Mike Kinney. Oh yeah.
Just because I think it's funny. I mean, I like slut receivers too.
What is Hunter Renfrew right now? Like, what is his ranking?
Value. Yeah.
You tell me.
You mean like a wide receiver? He's like the wide receiver 12. I have no idea what his value is, though.
What is? Yeah. Well, you can't get him. You know, what are you gonna? I guess you can pay a mid first for him. Do you really like him that much?
I don't. Just because Waller's been hurt, so like.
So if you have Hunter Renfrow, are you trading him for 2 seconds or a second and a third? You know, I'm not. I'm riding that guy. But if somebody offers me a first for him, of course I'm taking it. But I'm not offering a first for Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. He's kind of ungettable.
Yeah.
Because if you have him, you know how good he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's wide receiver 12 for a reason. Like
it's too late.
He's a machine. He's like Wes Welker again.
Yeah, right. And Amendola, I guess, was kind of similar, but yeah, Wes Welker was
Edelman, kind of
Edelman
before he
I
crashed
guess
and burned.
Edelman way more than Amendola. Wes Welker did it on 2 different teams though, so I have to give him a lot of credit.
That's true. That is true.
So Mike Kinney says, or who looks like an NFL receiver or an insurance salesman. Yeah, I actually don't. I think Hunter Renfrow looks more like well, I guess videotape stores don't exist anymore, but he looks like a guy that could be in Clerks to me.
He looks like the guys that run the car wash near my house. Yeah. That's what he looks like.
How do you know what? Wait, you have a brand new car? Well, all right, I'll give you a break. Yeah, you work for the
What's
Army.
That?
I said I was about to ask you how you know what the guys at the car wash look like, because you should be washing your own car. You bought a brand new car.
Okay.
However, I'll cut you a break. You have 4 kids and 1 on the way. You work for the Army and you drive Uber, so I guess you don't have that kind of time. One of my favorite. If I lived in Texas, I would wash my car at least once a week.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do driving Uber, if not twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mike is exactly what I'm talking about. Mike Kinney. He says I would believe that that Renfrow worked at a Blockbuster before they disappeared. It's exactly what I was thinking. Hey, what's a good comedy that's just came out? Oh, have you seen Old School? Yeah, you should rent Old School. That's what I expect Hunter Renfrow to say to me. So we lost Chad.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You're gonna lose me in 7 minutes.
Oh, are you picking somebody up?
Yeah, I'm picking somebody up. So, driving these kids around. Got some December grads, at A&M, and everybody wants to party. But a lot of the kids are gone already for Christmas break. So
yeah, they're all back home.
Not too busy. Yeah.
They all came into our restaurant today. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, Chad's back.
All right.
Yay.
Sorry about that. I was hoping it didn't kick you guys out when I got dropped out.
No, luckily it did not. So
sweet.
Good on.
Thank you, StreamYard.
Yeah, good on StreamYard for that. But yeah, we decided that Hunter Renfrow would work at Blockbuster Video, even though they don't exist anymore.
Right. That sounds right. That sounds right.
I mean, Mike Kinney said insurance salesman, but I would never buy anything from that dude with that scruffy ass. He can't even grow a beard.
Yeah. No, he would be. I could see him as just at your local grocery store like stocking shelves.
Yes, absolutely.
He looks like the stock boy.
Yeah, he'd be the weird guy that you need to ask somebody where something is.
Yeah, yeah.
But not him. You're gonna move past him and go on to the next guy you see.
That actually reminds me with the stocking shelves. You guys see the preview for that Kurt Warner movie?
No,
That's
the
coming
Kurt
out?
Warner
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to see it so bad.
Is it a
I love
Because that's what he was doing before he joined the
No, it's like
Rams.
a-
Was he was
it's like
stocking
a-
shelves or whatever?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Who was it? It was Mike Martz that found him, right?
It was Vermeil, wasn't it?
Oh, it was Dick Vermeil. That. Oh,
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, he went and he couldn't even make the Packers practice squad. He tried out for the Packers a number of times when he was working for a grocery chain and couldn't make it. I remember I read his book. It's a really good book. I think that's what the movie. I guess the movie's going to be based on the book, or maybe just his account.
Yeah, it's based on the book from what I read. I want to see it. I mean, it's only like limited showings, and it comes out like Christmas Day. So
I don't like the guy they have playing Kurt Warner. He doesn't look anything like. Kurt
yeah,
Warner.
he doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I forget what his name is.
Did they get Chris Everett or Martina Navratilova to play his wife?
I don't know who
no
plays his
idea.
wife. His wife is a odd looking chick. She's
Did they get?
she's very. Like,
Isn't she a prior Marine or something like that?
Yeah,
she was a
yeah,
Marine.
I think so.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was badass.
like she has like crazy colored hair and shit. Like
Did they
like
get?
the first time I saw her, I was like, oh shit.
Did they get Gina Carrera to play his wife? Because I seriously, I haven't seen her lately, but in the day when he was playing, man, she looked like she could kick my ass.
Yeah, Mike said that he played in the AFL. Yeah, he was. I think he was MVP a number of years in the AFL. I think that's what got some NFL teams to really buy in. Yeah. I think he was MVP. Like, yeah, he was in the Arena Football League for a number of seasons.
That's right, Arena.
I think he won MVP like twice. It was either once or twice. I know he won it at least once, but I think it was twice.
I wonder then if. Man, I'm going to be really curious to see how Vermeil found him, because
he was just one of those guys that tried to go around trying to make practice squads and shit.
But I gotcha. But Jaws was an AFL team owner. He owned the Philly team. So, and Jaws was Vermeil's quarterback. They're still really, really close friends. So I wonder if that had any influence, like if Jaws saw him play and like recommended him or not. I'm going to be interested to see if that comes up, actually. Because, all roads lead back to Philly.
Yeah, of course. In the mind of Jesse.
All right, just talk about the 76ers and get it over with so we can move on.
No, we're not doing that.
I mean, the trade market is heating up. December 15th was the date where.
My stop's coming up. I'm gonna have to go. Let me know how it goes, Chad.
all veterans, veterans that were traded or signed in the offseason are eligible to be traded. So the market's heating up. But no, I'm not gonna even mention his name. I'm not gonna mention his name. I'm not.
No, it's not.
I'm not gonna say the name.
But yeah,
Jalen Reagor for mayor.
Oh gosh. I'm excited about seeing that movie though. It'll be an interesting one for sure.
So
that's one of my favorite stories of the NFL.
What's it? Is it coming out on Netflix or what's?
No, movie theaters. Those are still a thing. Yeah, those are still a thing. I'm actually going to see that new Spider-Man movie. That's going to be my first movie back to the movie theater.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? You haven't seen one?
I haven't. No. I haven't.
Since
I haven't
COVID?
been back to the movie since COVID. And I used to go all the time. Like I'm a movie theater junkie.
Yeah, we used to go, 2-3 times a month.
Yeah, I mean, my wife doesn't really like the movie theater. I would literally go by myself sometimes.
I love it. I saw the first new Star Wars movie that came out.
Yeah,
I saw that one by myself. Like I'll go if it's a movie I want to see. I'll go by myself. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, me too.
I grew up across the street basically from a movie theater.
Me too. Yeah, I would literally.
So it was $2. It was to get into the AMC for any movie was $2. But that's how old I am. But
popcorn
anyway,
wasn't even $2 when I was a kid.
It was $2, and so like me and my friends would scrounge up our change and get up $2, and one person would buy a ticket and let the other 5 guys in through the back door. We pulled that off. We pulled that off a bunch of times. But like I went and saw, speaking of Bill Murray, I saw The Razor's Edge, which was like his first like dramatic role. We were like, I saw that in the theater. That was actually the only movie I've ever really walked out on. But we were all like, oh, it's Bill Murray. Yeah, let's go see the Bill Murray movie.
Yeah,
like I I grew up with the movies as just like something to do,
Yeah.
you know, and then I just like grew this love for it. I love movie theater.
Yeah, when I worked when I actually had a real job and I worked in Austin, this is like anyways, before I started my business and stuff, and I would during my lunch breaks I would have extended lunch breaks because I was like the like head of sales and stuff. And so I would give myself an extended lunch break. And I would literally go to the movie theater during my lunch break and just watch like, even if I could only watch like half a movie, I'd watch half a movie. People thought it was the weirdest shit in the world. But
no, like, that's awesome. I would do that too.
Yeah, that's what I used to do as a kid. Like, you know, before school starts, after school starts, like movie theater was right there. So
nice.
One of those things. I always knew somebody that worked in the movie theater, so I would just literally get them for free every time and just go.
Mike Kinney says his closest theater is an hour away minimum. Where in the country can you live? I assume
underground or something.
I mean, Wyoming, Montana. You're gonna have to tell us where you live. What state you live in, Mike?
It's crazy.
Yeah, maybe Maine.
Actually, my closest theater right now is like 35 minutes away.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm in the middle of the country.
So. Washington State, yeah, it gets pretty desolate in the middle and the western part of Washington. I've been to Walla Walla, actually, believe it or not.
Oh, nice.
Walla, we took I lived in Seattle for a summer, and we took a camping trip out to Walla Walla and then down to Idaho and water skied on the Snake River. That was a really fun trip. But let me tell you, there's nothing to go to Walla Walla, Washington for. They grow onions. That's it.
Onions are good. I use onions in most of the dishes I cook.
Okay, but you don't need to go there for it. Lots of flat brown dirt. True. That's all they really got
that's
there.
Very true. That's actually pretty interesting. The one of the biggest like horses in the industry right now, stallions or whatever, in my line of work or whatever. So I work with performance horses and stuff. For those of y'all that don't know, but his name is Walla Walla.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was named after the city in Washington. So
okay, I mean, you're using that term very loosely, city.
That's
a big town. Yeah, it's a big town.
But yeah. Anyways, let's get back to football.
It's hard to talk football right now, man.
Everybody's out with the really difficult. Rona. At least I think we're a little bit more streamlined than we were in the beginning of this episode because we were really all over the place then. Is there a guy that you're looking at this year that is kind of caught your eye where you're saying, okay, he could be like the Debo next year or the Hunter Renfrow next year or anything like that?
So a young guy that hasn't broken out or a bounce back guy?
Either one. Just one of those guys that maybe he caught an injury or maybe he just hasn't broken out yet, like a Dawson Knox or something like that, right? Where his value is just at an all-time low.
I have a bunch of guys that I like for next year.
Well, name a couple of them. Let's hear them.
Yeah, my buys are Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, I like it. Me too.
Tim Patrick, because you can get him super cheap. Not that I think he's going to blow up, but he's definitely a guy with talent, and they just signed him to an extension, so he'll be there. Mm-hmm. Allen Robinson, Michael Thomas. These are guys that you can get for a song.
Yeah, Allen Robinson's a good one.
You can get these guys really cheap. Michael Thomas and Derrick Henry. Calvin Ridley. That's another one. I picked up two or three Calvin Ridley chairs pretty cheap. Even now, like people still are.
This is the lowest he's been. This is the lowest he's been. Actually, in the chat today, somebody was saying that I think it was Clay. Clay was messaging the chat, and he's like, should I buy Ridley for an early second?
Oh my God!
I was like, yeah, of course, I would do that without even thinking twice. And I think like 2 or 3 people disagreed with me.
Really?
And I was like, okay, I guess his value's that low, but I would pay that in a minute. I don't care. Like,
yes, absolutely.
Somebody said that they thought he could be the next Josh Gordon.
There's another one. Juju's another guy that I've bought 3 different times in the last 2 weeks. I just
Yeah, that's
traded
an interesting one.
Brandon Cooks for Juju. What do you think about that?
Brandon Cooks for Juju.
Not so. I'm a non-contending team, and I
Yeah.
won't contend. I won't
Yeah,
contend
I guess.
next year either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see that. I think Brandon Cooks is 28, so yeah,
29.
good time. 29, yeah, then
I believe he's
of course.
29. So he's going to
Okay.
hit that magic number next year and be
worthless.
really hard to trade.
Yeah.
So I've traded every single one of my Brandon Cook shares this year. So that's somebody
would
I'm
you
getting
sell
rid
Judy
of.
then? No, I
No.
like Sutton, but it's not it has nothing to do with Judy. Like it's mutually exclusive or
Right.
yeah, it's has nothing to do with Judy. So like I like Judy, I just like Sutton for the price that he's going for. So
Right.
if you were like, which one would you rather have? I'd take Judy all day.
I think
But-
Judy is nowhere near what his peak value will be.
No. I mean,
Nowhere
if
near.
they get a quarterback, I mean, he's
Judy
going to
could
the
be-
moon.
Yeah, Judy could be like AJ Brown range, Debo range.
Yeah.
Actually, there you go. There's my player that could be the next Debo.
Jerry Judy.
I mean, yeah, not that
I
he
like
does it. Not that he does it in the same way.
Yeah.
They're completely different players, but he's got.
I think Jerry
all the
Judy's more
talent in the
talented player
world.
than Debo, and I love Debo.
Absolutely.
Debo's one of my favorite players in the league, but
They do entirely different.
Jerry
things.
Judy is insane. He's
Yeah.
insane.
Jerry Judy.
Gallup. That's a big one, Mike. I really, that's another one.
Is
I
he
think
a free
lot of
agent?
people are sleeping on. He's a free agent. Yep. So, and I don't think he's going to end up back with the Cowboys. And I think he's super talented.
Yeah, they got a steal with him in the draft, and they mismanaged it the entire way. The Cowboys.
Yeah.
I never thought that they used him to his potential.
Here's an interesting one because I think you can basically get him for nothing, right? Compared to what he once went for. But I think this is probably, I think right about there, maybe a very late second.
Mm-hmm.
You could get him for, but
worth it.
I think it's worth it. Maybe right now people won't agree with me, but when Debo was at his lowest, right? People were, so far out on him, and it wasn't even imaginable that he could be what he is this season. And I think one of those guys could be DJ Chark. I think DJ Chark has hit such a low valley right now with his value that he's just worth the flyer. He's just worth the flyer because he's a talented player.
And
I'm sorry, he's probably gonna be somewhere else. Oh,
is he a free agent?
If he's not a free agent, I think this next season might be his last. But I think
man, that was fast. He's been in the league 4 years already.
Let me see. Go. Keep talking.
Well, one thing I really like about DJ Chark is I think he's a very similar player, skill set wise, to Marvin Jones, and I really like the fact that he got, even though he's not playing, he got hurt early on. He's still in the wide receiver room with Marvin Jones every day, and he's learning from him, right? So he's learning from a guy with similar physical attributes and skill set to him. He's learning all the little tricks on how to use his skills the right way. At least that's my hope. I know I'm throwing out a huge narrative, but I do like that. I do like when guys have older receivers to mentor them.
Yeah, so Chark is an undrafted free agent this offseason.
He's a free agent this offseason?
Yeah, so he will be somewhere else, more than likely.
So Mike's asking what his injury was.
I think it was a fractured ankle, if I remember right. I think it was some kind of fracture. I think it was his ankle.
Fractured ankle. Yep. So I have no idea what to say about that. I mean, I assume he'll be back. I assume he'll be back
he's
for training camp. I mean,
he'll be back. He'll be back for training camp.
At least it wasn't an Achilles or ACL.
And it was really early in the year. It was really early in the year. So.
It was really early. Yeah.
He'll be back. I don't think he's going to get. I think he's probably going to get like the Nelson Aguilar contract.
Yeah, I was about to say he's going to have to get a prove it contract.
Yeah, he's going to get, and Nelson Aguilar got paid, right? Like he's going to get paid. He's just not going to get paid a ton.
Do you think?
I think so.
Aguilar got what, $10 million a year?
Yeah. Which I mean is it's not a great contract, but I mean for
Well,
wide receiver one, which is what he is there. But
there
especially
are a
with this
couple
cap
things.
increase, I think that's what he's going to get.
Yeah.
Is around 10.
The cap is going up huge. Like the cap's going to what, 20 or 18 million, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
no, wait, is it? I think it's 10 million.
it's going to be at 208. And I thought
Wasn't it 198?
I thought this year was 190, but I could be wrong.
You might be right. It might have been 198 the year before. Like it might have been 198 last year because it went down.
But there are a ton of free agent wide receivers. Right. Would you sign, if you're an NFL team, would you sign Juju or Chark at the same money?
Probably Juju, but I mean it's close. I think probably Juju just because of the injury. From 185, okay.
Yeah, Kenny says 185.
So what was it?
I thought it was 190.
Yeah. I know it dropped from last year. But yeah.
182.5 is what over the cap says. So it's going up 26 million.
That's a really big jump.
So
some teams are really going to need that.
Yeah, every team gets 26 million. So you're going to see some huge overpays.
Yeah.
And wide receivers are usually the guys that get that. So 8 to 10 million probably isn't crazy for Chark. And there are a lot of teams out there that could use that speed element. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see the Raiders. I could see the Raiders going out and signing.
He's just a big boy. Like he's one of those guys. Like he's tall and
fast as hell.
Yeah, has the length to.
Yeah.
Like he just has a lot of intangibles that I think a lot of teams are looking for.
He's always reminded me of Marvin Jones. Mm. That's why when he signed there, I thought it was very interesting signing. Actually, I didn't really like it just because they don't complement. They don't complement each other on the field.
Yeah.
When you got, anyway. I do love DJ Chark. I think he's got a lot of alpha in him.
Yeah.
He's just got to be in the right situation with the right coach and the right quarterback. And, this offseason is going to be so much fun. We're going to have a lot of quarterbacks and wide receivers changing teams. I mean,
it's going to be very interesting.
Every year in the NFL is a new year, is a completely new year. And it happens every offseason. But this year is going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
Let's jump back to the way too early preview of the of what we think of this rookie class.
Okay.
I hear a lot of people.
So okay, real quick, just to circle back and put a period on the conversation about Ridley.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Ridley or Drake London?
I mean, is Ridley playing? Then I'd rather have Ridley.
No, right now.
Right now? God, I really like Drake London. But I'd rather have Ridley.
I'd rather have Ridley.
Yeah.
He's a proven guy. And
I really
love
Drake London
coming off. But is he coming off an ACL?
Yeah, pretty bad injury. Yeah.
And that's probably what you're looking at the top of the second. I'm not saying I wouldn't draft him. Absolutely, I would draft him with a second round pick. But I'd rather have a proven.
Drake London's one of those guys that could definitely go in the first in rookie drafts. I mean, it's going to be dependent on where he gets drafted, but it seems like a lot of people are saying he's going to go really early. Like some of these draft pundits that are kind of in touch with the NFL have him as the first wide receiver off the board, which is nuts to me because of the injury. But
over Burks,
yeah,
wow,
yeah,
I've seen it do it all.
I've seen it a couple of times, and it's been shocking to me because Drake London before this, before he really got hot, he wasn't really thought of like that,
Yeah.
Where Traylon Burks was a little bit more hot coming out. But
all right, so how about John Mechie versus Ridley?
I'd rather have Ridley.
Yeah.
Or Mechie.
Well, I mean, Mechie seems like he's going to be top of the second guy.
Yeah.
What do you think about Garrett Wilson? What are your thoughts?
I like Garrett Wilson. I think he's a good player. I mean, a lot of these guys, it's just so difficult because it's just going to depend on where they go in the draft and what team takes them.
So right? I heard Dallas was throwing out some shade on Garrett Wilson, just saying he's like not as polished or as good a route runner as you would expect coming out of Ohio State for like a mid first round dynasty pick. What do you think about that?
It just depends on where he goes and what I can get him for. I mean, I like the player. I
Yeah.
said, I mean, it's one of those things.
I haven't listened to enough or watched enough of any of these guys to have enough like solid opinions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I think a lot of this whole process in the beginning here of like really trying to self scout these players is, I mean, it's not worthless, right? It definitely helps, just having a little bit of familiarity with these guys, but really until we get into the thick of things and we see where they end up and what their price is in rookie drafts, we're not really going to know how we see these players. Because, I mean, it's like, say what you will about a player has to have a value assigned to him before you can evaluate if he's worth it or not. Right?
Okay.
Like Ridley, right? I love Ridley, but if Ridley's going for 2 firsts, I'm not buying him. Right? So, I mean, it's just with these rookies, I want to see what rookie's going where, what team picked him. Combines don't mean much, but what his combine looks like, what his injury history is, because some of these guys I'm not as read on as some people are, but if I didn't watch them in college, I'm not really gonna have an opinion on them until I really look at what my favorite draft experts think about them, and that's I'm not really a self scout kind of guy. I'll watch a few a few highlight videos and of the guys that I don't watch in college, and that might be the extent of it. And then I'll just go to the guys that I trust.
It's really hard for me to scout college players. I can do it with NFL player. I can watch, like I don't have the all 24
the 22
or 22. I don't have that, but I can go back and watch shit on YouTube and watch replays and stuff and like self scout a bit in the NFL, but I can't do that at all in college.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Mike Kinney says, who are your trusted sources? I like to mix it up between.
I have a couple really but anyway, go on.
Yeah, so like the main guy that I like to go for actual like a film breakdown is Brett Coleman, who Jesse mentioned earlier. He's really, really good, and he'll make
love him.
Pretty long videos on specific players. So as far as like just on the individual player, no real context to it as far as what the NFL thinks about him or what where his draft position is or anything like that. Just like looking at the player and saying, okay, this is what he is, or this is what I think of him. I like him for that. I like Daniel Jeremiah.
Before you move on from Brett Coleman, just one real quick comment. One thing I really like about him is that he will get as technical as you want him to.
Yeah.
Like where a lot of guys will say things that are sort of like they'll sort of gloss over things. He just dives in and like he gets more technical than most guys to the point where sometimes I don't fully understand what he's saying, which is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want you to give me more than I need. So anyway, I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I like as far as guys that are kind of plugged into the NFL and really paying attention to what teams think of these guys and where they might end up, and just that whole process of following them from the day we start talking about the draft to the actual NFL draft. I really like Daniel Jeremiah for that. I think he's super plugged in. He was a scout when he was working for the Ravens and the Eagles and a few other places. Bucky Brooks is not bad. I like him because he tags along with Daniel Jeremiah, so I'm kind of forced to listen to him, but he's not bad. I really like JT O'Sullivan for quarterbacks. He runs a YouTube page called The Quarterback School, where he exclusively breaks down quarterback play from the eyes of a quarterback, because he was an NFL quarterback.
JT O'Sullivan.
Yeah, I think that's
Niners.
Yeah, I think he moved around a bunch.
Okay. Does he have a podcast? Do you know that you know of?
Yeah, it's the quarterback school, the QB
Okay.
school.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna find it right now.
It's really, really, really good. He's the only one that I listen to for quarterbacks. He's really
Okay.
good.
Cool.
Let me see here. God, he played for so many teams. Played for the Saints. He played for Frankfurt Galaxy in the Canadian Football League. He played for the Packers. He played for the Bears. He played for the Vikings. He played for the Patriots. He played for the Panthers. Played for Frankfurt Galaxy again, then the Bears, then the Lions, then the 49ers, then the Bengals, then the Chargers, then the Raiders, then the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Okay.
So he's been around. And you know what that tells me? Like, that tells me that maybe he wasn't the best athlete in the world as far as a quarterback goes. He didn't have the natural talent to be that, premier quarterback, but teams wanted him around. Like, he was worth something. Exactly.
Like my boys, the Detmers.
Exactly. So, and that's the kind of guy you want to listen to, and he's a really easy listen. He's really, really good. And anybody else? Of course, like, I know a lot of people dog on them because of just the branding and how long they've been around, and because they're not 100% correct, which of course they're not. Nobody is, but because of who they are, people like to keep records of them. But Todd McShay and Mel Kiper, of course, you have to, right? Like, they've been in this for so long. They know what NFL teams are thinking. People talk to them. You have to listen to them.
I can't find this podcast.
And that's really it. I mean, I'll go across the dynasty space and listen to a bunch of dynasty people as well. Mm-hmm. But I just let them all kind of merge together. I don't really pick out any one person, the Ray GQs of the world and all those kind of guys. Not taking away from anything they do, of course. Like, I mean, some of those guys are really good at what they do and really fun to listen to. But I just, I just kind of it helps me to just kind of merge all of their opinions together, because I think the dynasty community as a whole, they kind of like to copy each other a little bit.
Right.
So
that's true.
It is what it is.
It's a good segue, because the number one guy for me is Greg Cosell, and the reason for Greg Cosell for me is, I mean, I know he's a Philly market guy, but the number one thing for me with him is he doesn't listen to others. He doesn't listen to podcasts or other people. Like, he doesn't read online other articles. He scouts guys and then gives his opinion. That's it. He doesn't care what other people think. His opinions are often very, very different, and that's why I like him. He's not always right, but oftentimes he is. And he will get very technical too, as far as what he thinks a guy translates to the NFL, which I love. Yeah. Ross Tucker podcast. Ross Tucker's really good for offensive linemen too.
Yeah.
I really like Ross Tucker. And also another Philly market guy. He does he's the color guy on our
He's a fun guy to listen to.
Yeah, he's the color guy on our preseason games.
Nice.
So never that great of an offensive lineman, but really fun after he retired.
Yeah.
I also like Matt Waldman from the football guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's really good. He is super contrarian though. So be prepared. And that's kind of what I like about him though, is that he will give the downside on guys that I haven't heard, or he will give the upside on guys that I haven't heard. His list is usually just way, way different than McShay and Kiper, right? Because he's not plugged into the NFL, and he's not scouting it as what the NFL teams are going to do. He's scouting it as what he would do and what he thinks these guys are good at. So I want to know that, right? But I also want to know what McShay and Kiper think, because, like, McShay was the first person to say, the first person that I heard call Brandon Ayuk first round talent.
Yeah.
And he was the first one I heard even say the guy's name and then start talking him up.
What I like about Kiper and McShay too is that they'll say, this is what I think of a guy. The league disagrees.
Right. Absolutely.
Or they'll say, everybody in the league thinks this and I agree.
Right.
Or, they have that extra kind of, well, Daniel Jeremiah also has that a little bit too, but still not to the level that McShay and
those guys are super plugged in. McShay was Joe Douglas's college roommate.
Yeah.
He knows who Joe and it was funny because last year he specifically said it too. He's like, I know who Joe Douglas is going to draft. I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how he keeps Joe Douglas's trust.
Yeah.
By not, blabbing.
Yeah, and I think he's like said multiple times too that he won't even ask Joe Douglas questions because he doesn't want to put Joe Douglas in the situation that he has to lie to him.
I heard him say that too. But he knows how he thinks.
But he's
he
like,
knows who he's
I remember him saying that too, and it wasn't like he wasn't saying like Joe Douglas told me. He was saying, I know Joe Douglas. I know the player that he wants.
Right.
But I'm not going to ask him. Yeah, because I know he's going to be forced to tell me no. I'm not looking at him or
right, exactly. So I mean, it's a good friend. I think Miche is a pretty good guy. He seems like a pretty good guy, and I love Kuiper because I probably live 10 minutes from Mel Kiper, by the way.
Oh, really?
He's a huge Baltimore County guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, and even listening to their first kind of episode or whatever you of their draft podcast, which is pretty good.
Yeah, their first one was fire, by the way.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And
I was like, oh my God, there's a first draft? Oh my God. All right.
No,
all right.
It was so good. And they right off the bat disagreed on Ritter.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Kuiper likes him, right?
McShay doesn't think he's a first round player.
Right.
And Kuiper really likes him.
It's gonna be like that with the quarterbacks this year.
And I love it.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. There's going to be a lot of hits and misses.
No, I love it. I love it because nobody's excited. See, this is what I like, right? I say as a dynasty player, you should thrive in this. You should thrive in this kind of draft where there's no Trevor Lawrence, there's no Ezekiel Elliott, there's no Saquon Barkley, right? There's no player that people were like, oh, this is the designated 101. And there will be, right? But right now, this far out, there's no one. There's no order from 101 to 104 or rough order from 101 to 105. There's none of that yet, right? And there will be. People will make it up, right? People will get it in their minds. The dynasty community will get it in their minds that this is the order we need to pick from. These are the guys that, should go in this slot. These are the guys that should go in this slot. And you need to take advantage of that. You need to say, okay, well, how can I, and not being different for being different sake, right? But saying, okay, how can I get the most bang for my buck? How can I get the most value from the way people are thinking about this draft class? And so maybe you take your 105 and you trade back and you try to get two quarterbacks, right? And you say, okay, if there's no quarterback in this class that is, which I like to do anyways, but let's say that you are a guy that just likes to go and take the best quote unquote quarterback in the draft class, the best prospect, right? You would normally take the Trevor Lawrence or the, who was it? Who was it? It was Tua, right? His year?
Burrow.
The Kyler Murray.
Burrow was
Burrow. That's right. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, Burrow. I like to take those guys, right? But this year there is no guy like that.
Yeah, so it's a huge trade down year.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So maybe you go and you trade down and you try to get a couple of them. You try to get the guy that falls into the second round. You get the guy that falls into the late first, and just play the numbers game this year.
Absolutely.
People are going to get excited about players. That it's going to happen.
It's a deep flat draft. You know, there are no like, well, at running back, I think there are a couple like big talents, but it's a little bit like 3 years ago when you had Jacobs and Sanders and Monty and not a lot of great quarterbacks coming out, I think I don't remember the wide receivers that year, but I think it was like AJ Brown and there were like a bunch of wide receivers that nobody believed in, like you remember AJ Brown was like a late first round pick because nobody really wanted him. Yeah. So I see this year really like playing out like that. Yeah. You I would trade down, if I had a high first, I would trade down to like, 6 or 7. And I would even take a 2023 first. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would feel like I was probably going to get a player just as good
Yeah, I mean,
now I
and
just picked up a first.
there's going to be a ton of people that are like, "Oh, there's no guy that is looks amazing this year, above head and shoulders above everybody else, so I'm just going to trade out of this one and move to the 2023 class," which is fine. Do that if you want to, but don't feel obligated to do that. Like,
No, but
there's
I
gonna
see,
be hits all throughout the first and second round.
we're saying that now, right? There's no hype has started yet. Once the hype starts, there are going to be players that people
Yeah,
want to
no,
trade up
I'm
for.
talking about like right now. Like right now, people are
Right.
not really excited about this draft class. But yeah, you're
No,
right.
but
People
it'll
are gonna get
happen.
excited about it.
Yep, it'll happen.
That's what I
Trust
was
me.
saying. There's gonna be players that people like. It's just
This
only a matter of
last
time.
2022 was supposed to be shit compared to 2021, and it was, you know what I mean? And still the hype got rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so yeah.
Wait, before we answer that question real quick, I just want to throw one more out there. Is Matt Harmon with reception perception.
Oh yeah.
I really like reception
I
perception.
do like that as well.
I like it because it's data driven. A lot of it is.
What's his co-host name? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but
Liz Losa. Does he have a female co-host?
No, I think it's a male.
I actually don't listen to his pod. I only read reception.
Follow him on Twitter or whatever.
I buy reception perception every year.
Oh, okay.
But I don't listen to his podcast because he's Yahoo. They're chuckleheads to me. Like they're like CBS and ESPN. Like they're no better. They're given like armchair advice every week. And I really like him, but I like him for reception perception because it's data driven. Although I mean it's him watching wide receivers run routes and then giving it a grade and then deriving data from that. So
yeah,
it's data from opinion. However, he's doing the work and watching every single route.
Yeah, I was talking about Matt Harmon's YouTube channel, which he bases on like a lot of reception perception.
I got you. I'm sorry. Yes, I have watched that. I'm not sure who the co-host is.
But yeah, Mike. So I guess the context, right, that I like to bring into that is, yeah, that's part of his job, right? So he's going to do a shit ton of mock drafts. Things are always changing for these guys, but is it really changing as much as they are kind of? At some point, they're just doing it because they have to, like just changing the order of things and trying different things.
They're
trying to fit players with certain teams, and
they're constantly getting new info too. And NFL teams are constantly changing their boards, according to the research that they do. So they're constantly getting new info on that as well.
Yeah.
Then they're also constantly getting misinformation as well. Yeah. So teams will definitely throw shit out there to them to,
Yeah. And I mean, part of it is too that they have to do it, right? Like they have to put out a bunch of different mock drafts because that's their job, right? Like whether they believe it or not, they're going to have to change it up. So they play little games where they like, say, oh, wouldn't this be fun if this player went here? So you have to go into it with context and not say, okay, let me look at every mock draft and base my draft order off of their mock drafts. You have to, like I said, listen to their podcast and take little tidbits of what they're saying. Like, it's just an accumulation of data from everybody, right? And you're just plugging them into the equation as well. You're not just saying, Mel Kiper's my guy. I'm going to follow everything Mel Kiper says. Let me look at his 108th, mock draft. It's about, Mel Kiper says, okay, like for instance, Daniel Jeremiah came out and he said, Gabriel Davis, was going for free, like the fourth round of rookie drafts or something stupid, right? And he was a later player, but he was like, look, the Bills love this player. And he's the only player on their roster with the build that he has. And they were desperately looking for that. I know that for a fact. They were desperately looking for a guy with his build. They're going to use him. He might have been a late draft pick. They're going to use him. And so I picked him up everywhere for free. And then as soon as he became worth a second, which he eventually did, I traded him off everywhere. Right? And so it's just little tidbits like that you can get from these guys because they kind of are a little bit more plugged into how these teams think about players, how they feel their usage might end up being.
When I hear McShay say that he loves Ayuk 15 different times on 15 different podcasts and he's an end of the first round player, it sinks in after a while. You know what I mean? Actually, it made my ears perk up the first time I heard it because I had never heard his name before, and I started looking at him. But like when you got to just filter out some of the noise when they bring up the same name over and over, you know they love him.
Yeah.
And I think he was right about Ayuk. I don't know what the hell happened early in the year with him. I don't know if him and Trey Sermon were out getting hookers and got caught or whatever. But the dude, I mean, the dude has major talent.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, the Niners, I will take any skill player on the Niners. Is the way I look at it. I want any skill player on the Niners.
I don't want to.
Even though if they're all healthy, it feels like there's too many mouths to feed. But when are they haven't been all healthy for one game this year, have they?
God, I'll tell you, I'm like so scared of the Niners running back group. Like nobody knows what's going on with these guys from year to year.
I'm not trading for any of them.
I'm not touching them.
I really got burned bad by Trey Sermon this offseason.
It's not just about Trey Sermon either.
I drafted him in the second round in every freaking draft I could possibly. I guess it's not getting burned bad, but I have him as a lump on 5 different teams.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a lump that I have to move to the taxi squad.
And he might end up working out. Like we don't know yet, right? But,
yeah. I have hopes for him. I still have hopes for Rager and Hardman, but
oh gosh,
you know,
but I mean,
they just dwindle every year.
That's a completely different beast.
No, I mean, I have hopes for him. I don't think every shot he got this year, he looked really good and then got hurt. You know, so I don't know. Maybe he is a complete knucklehead, or maybe he's a complete dummy, or maybe he just got in an argument with Shanahan. I don't know. Underpants gnomes, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
I can infer.
Phase 1, steal underpants. Phase 2, I don't know. Phase 3, profit. This is all phase 2. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. Gotcha.
Phase 3, profit.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But if you luck into Elijah Mitchell, like I did in 3 different leagues by drafting him in the 4th round, you strike gold.
Yeah, I've sold every Elijah Mitchell share I have. I'm not touching anybody in this.
Yeah, I have 1 left. Oh, no, maybe 2. I picked them up off of waivers in the league.
There's even a playoff team that I have. I think I finished at the 4th seed or something, and somebody offered me a 1st and a 2nd for Elijah Mitchell, and I sold him immediately.
Oh yeah, I would do that.
And I was like, it was another guy in the playoffs, and I was like, this is probably going to hurt my playoff chances. I don't care.
There's so many running. At this point, though, there's so many running backs that I would trade for 1st and a 2nd.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only the big studs that I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, I would trade Dobbins for a 1st and a 2nd, probably.
Yeah.
Would you trade Akers? I would probably trade Akers for a 1st and a 2nd if I got
my buy window for Akers is done. I bought so many shares of Akers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't buy or sell any of him. I have what I have of him. That's it. I'm not selling him because how can I? I can never be the guy that sells low on a person. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I'm always gotta be the one acquiring.
But I'm also not buying the Achilles guy with a stud running back in front of him. Darrell Henderson's looked great this year.
Yeah.
You know? So at best, he's going to work his way in to be the 2nd guy. And then if Henderson gets hurt, maybe he takes over. Mm-hmm. That's the best case scenario for him. How can you buy a guy? How can you can't give up 1sts for that? Any type of 1st for that guy. I mean, 2 late 2nds.
Yeah.
And then you can't get him for that. I'm sorry, go on.
I recently acquired Cam Akers, and I can't find that. I was trying to find the trade. Oh, here it is. I traded Amari Cooper for Cam Akers in a 2022 2nd.
Huh.
I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Huh.
So, I mean, just one of those things, like buying them everywhere. Yeah. I think that's a steal. I think Cam Akers' value is going to go up. I can grab a guy in this pretty deep draft class.
I don't think I would sell Amari Cooper for that though.
Yeah, I think I love that.
He's 27?
Cooper, 27.
He's in his prime. I would want more. I don't know.
Mm.
Well,
he's
I
on the
guess
back end of his prime, and he's not putting up the numbers we expect from him. So
no, he's not. I guess that's just why I wouldn't trade him. I guess.
yeah,
I
but I
just
mean,
think of him as
Cam Akers is on the other end of that is 22 years old.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he just scares the shit out of me that he could just never, I don't know, Deontay Foreman.
No, I don't think so. I think
Well, obviously he had more talent to start than
Deontay Foreman. Yeah, who could barely find a job to begin with.
Yeah, he was Lendell. He was Lendell White.
Yeah, I mean Deontay Foreman literally could barely find a job. Like he was lucking into getting carries. Not the same situation, but
yeah.
I mean, they were even talking about Cam Akers. They wanted to try to get him back for the playoffs. Like, I mean, they're gonna try to get him back on the field and try to get him some carries. And as soon as this offseason hits and the Rams start talking up Cam Akers and he starts practicing and stuff like that, he's gonna shoot up. And I'm gonna guess that I'm gonna bet that Cooper's value is not long for being worth more than a first for very long, because he's going to hit that age where people are going to look at their their A-Rob shares and all those kind of things, and yeah, this is that age where you got to start getting rid of guys.
I hear you. I hear you. He's 27. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he'll be 28 next year.
Yeah, I hear you. 28 is still tradable.
Yeah, but I mean,
29 feels like the
if he has this kind of season at 28, like you're not getting anything for him.
Wow, that's true.
You're getting a late second for him.
So let's circle back to Calvin Ridley a little bit, real quick, because I found the trade. I found the last trade I made for him was I got Ridley, LaVisca, and a late first for Chubb.
Yeah, I like it.
I just feel like you could have gotten Chubb for Ridley straight up in the last offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, Ridley was wide receiver 4 last year.
Yeah, that's how badly his value has dropped.
Yeah, all because he doesn't want to play football for a little bit, right? I mean, that's
Well, I think legitimately there are a lot of people out there that think that he's never going to play football again. Yeah. I would be. I can't say it's not a possibility. Obviously,
it's definitely a possibility, right? It's definitely.
It's not. It's no more playing it. Though.
It's no more a possibility than the draft. Like I was saying earlier in the chat, like it's no more possibility than the guy you're taking in the early second round is a bust. Like who's not? You could be taking Trey Sermon again, right? Yeah. Who's dust right now?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I'd rather have the top tier player who might play again.
Yeah.
And I would be.
You have Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, I like Terrace Marshall, but right now he's dust.
He's got zero value.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I would be a little bit more concerned. And of course, it is a possibility, right? I'm not saying it's not a possibility he doesn't come back, but I'm just saying I'd be a little bit more concerned if he was in a second contract. If he had already gotten paid, and he received a big bonus and had a big shit ton of guaranteed money and received was 2 years into it and got a big payday, and maybe would just have to pay a little bit of that back or something.
Already had $100 million in the bank, basically.
Yeah, but he's on his first contract. I think he's going to want to come back for that second one, unless this is something extremely serious, which it doesn't seem like it is. But
yeah, I've seen zero leaks on what it actually is.
Yeah, so
no idea.
We'll see. It's. I think it's important for players to take care of themselves, and
absolutely.
I don't think this is.
I would never criticize the man. I have no idea what's going on in his life.
No.
But I'm just not playing it that way. I'm just not playing it like he's never coming back.
If you can get him for an early second, all the risk is baked in already. Like you're paying for the risk being there already. Like it's not like you're like, oh, should I take a risk? The risk is already baked into that price. Like he is a top tier player.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. The likelihood
Who am I
of
taking a
him
second?
the likelihood of him coming back and being a top tier player versus the player you would draft there is way higher because he's already that proven talent. Like
Yeah.
the biggest unknown is a college player taking the step to the NFL. That is the biggest unknown. Nobody has any idea. You know, I mean, Ray GQ thought Jalen Reagor was the greatest player of all time.
Yeah. And he was a first round pick. So,
Exactly.
you know.
DK Metcalf, everybody, Eagles fans go crazy that we passed on DK and we took JJ Arcega-Whiteside. But every team passed on DK, most of them twice.
Yeah.
And
if you know what blows my mind with this, right? Like when teams have this or when fans have this revisionist history of their teams, and dynasty players do it too, but they're like, they'll look at well, I guess it's a little bit less for dynasty players because you kind of know roughly what players are going to be doing ahead of you based on, I guess the rankings and stuff. You can kind of make assumptions. But for the NFL draft, people were like, oh, look at how many teams passed on Mahomes. The Chiefs were right, blah, blah, blah. But the Chiefs, they took Mahomes at like 11, right? Mm-hmm. If they knew what Mahomes was, you think they're waiting to trade up to 11 to get Mahomes? Right. No, they had no fucking clue.
Yeah, exactly.
They're giving up the farm to get 101 to go grab Mahomes. Right?
Yeah, they liked him. That's all.
Yeah. Like
they liked him. They thought they could develop him, and they ended up being right.
Yeah, they weren't right.
Russ was a 4th round pick.
Yeah. Yeah, Seattle wasn't right. Seattle was wrong.
Seattle was wrong for 3 rounds. Yeah. And then they're like, I don't know. Exactly. We took, what's funny is we took Foles in the 4th round of that draft.
Yeah.
And what came out of that draft is that the Eagles really, really wanted Russ and that they were going to take him. And that was their guy. And we got killed. Like we got cheated out of him and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? It's all right. We still got Foles in the 4th and won a Super Bowl with him.
Yeah. I will be extremely impressed when a team trades up to the 101 or the 102 or the 103 or something to select a player that everybody's like, why the fuck did they trade up to take that guy? And then it ends up being the best player in the NFL. Then I'll be impressed. Then they'll be right.
Exactly.
But until then, they lucked into it. Right?
Yes, the Chargers were not right on Herbert.
No.
By that logic, which I think is 100% correct, they were not. They should have traded up to 1st for him.
Yeah.
They should have traded up for Herbert. Absolutely. Yeah. But they played the game and they kind of figured he would fall and that. If you love him that much for the most important position in professional sports, then you go get him.
Yeah, give the Bears a little bit of credit because they traded up or did they trade up or were they already at the 102 or 101 or whatever it was when they picked Trubisky?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think they traded up. I think they traded up, but they picked Trubisky and everybody was like, "What the fuck are they doing?"
They did trade up.
Yeah, they gave up a bunch for him.
Didn't they trade up with the Giants?
No, it wasn't the Giants.
No, but they traded up with a team that was not going to take him, and everybody killed them for it.
Yeah, no, the Bears traded up to with the Giants to get Fields, but I don't remember who it was for Trubisky. But yeah, everybody killed them for taking Trubisky. But if they were right, I would have been impressed. I'd have been like, oh, that's some balls because everybody was making fun of y'all.
Yep.
But y'all knew, yeah, this motherfucker's good. They were just,
were the Bills right for taking Josh Allen?
I mean, they picked him.
No,
they picked him like
he was terrible.
14 or
they
something.
Developed him and he developed. That's it. You know what I mean? They couldn't have done it without each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Josh Allen isn't turned into Josh Allen in Houston, for example. Or like under Urban Meyer. They had the right coaching staff.
Yeah, I think that's it'll be interesting this year. We'll have to keep note of this and see if anybody trades up for a player. We're like, what the fuck? I mean,
that would be interesting. Yeah, if somebody trades up to 2 and takes who's the Pitt quarterback? Is it Pickett or Pickens?
Pickett.
Pickett, okay, because there's a wide receiver Pickett's, so I keep getting them mixed up. But yeah, if someone is like trades up to number 2 for Pickett, oh, okay, take notice, and maybe that'll be that guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually, for any of these quarterbacks this year, except for maybe Howell has a bit of a pedigree, but none of them really do, right?
I think it's gonna be like kind of a surprising kind of order. Nobody's really gonna know what's gonna happen.
I still think 3 quarterbacks go in the top 10.
Oh, for sure. There's gonna be a handful of them going in the top 10.
Right now, everybody's saying that none. Everybody's saying none of these guys are top 10.
No, I don't buy that
they're
for
all
a minute. They're
all late firsts. How can you have 5 quarterbacks go in the late first with how starved teams are for quarterbacks?
I mean, you have to remember, like, there's so many of these quarterbacks that everybody missed on, saying that they're late first quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
And they ended up going early. I mean, they were criticizing Josh Allen as a late first quarterback. Lamar Jackson was a late first quarterback who actually went in the late first.
Yeah, he did.
Round. Actually, as late as you can get in the first round, right? He was the last pick in the first round, and the Ravens traded up for him.
Right.
So I mean, it's just
didn't Cody Kessler go in the late first?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I think he went.
Oh no, I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of a different Browns quarterback.
No, I think Kessler went later than the third.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a different Browns quarterback. They had a series of them.
They had a laundry list of them.
Yeah, they did. It was ridiculous.
Gosh.
I was the old guy.
They Kaiser, you're talking about Kaiser. Right?
Yeah, is that he was like 25 coming out? No, it's not.
I don't remember.
Not Jimmy Kaiser. Hold on.
It wasn't Jimmy. No, I'm talking about Deshaun Kaiser.
Deshaun Kaiser. No, I forgot about him. No, that's not who I was thinking of.
Yeah, I don't think he was old, but where was he? Where did he go? Oh, he went in the second round. Deshaun Kaiser. Anyways, yeah, riveting stuff.
Yeah, they took Tim Couch.
Yeah, a bunch of
overall.
I think Tim Couch was the was that the Brady draft?
No, it was the McNabb. It was Couch. There was a second guy that was a complete bust as well, and then McNabb, and then what's his name for the Vikings, and then went to Miami.
Oh, so Brady was the quarterback or the season after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was the guy? Who was the Vikings quarterback with Chris Carter and Randy Moss?
Oh, Culpepper.
Yeah, Culpepper. He was probably the best quarterback in that draft, actually. Oof, Brady Quinn.
Oh, that was a bad pick.
Ouch. Whedon. That's who I was thinking of. Brandon Whedon.
Oh, yeah, Brandon Whedon.
Brandon Whedon was a late first round pick.
God, they had so many forgettable quarterbacks. Browns.
Yeah.
So many bad ones that never lasted.
Seneca Wallace. They traded for Seneca Wallace from
Seattle. We're talking about Browns quarterbacks for way too long. Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's how we know it's time.
Yeah. I got to get some sleep because I got to get up early to get a COVID test. Cross your fingers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm vaccinated and boosted, so even if I haven't,
nice. I still got to go get that booster. I love the Brady Quinn football show on Pick 6. I haven't seen that. I
haven't either.
Yeah, I've heard about it and I've seen it advertised, but I haven't seen it. I should probably check that thing out.
What's Pick 6? I'm not sure what that is.
It's the name of the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you. Brady Pick 6. Is that a podcast? Or is it a TV show? I don't know.
I've seen the like get advertised on YouTube and stuff, or like in the like recommended. see.
CBS podcast.
CBS
Okay.
podcast, yeah.
Man, I haven't listened to those. I used to listen to that CBS fantasy podcast every day. I used to listen to those idiots every day.
Yeah. I think it was like like where I keep seeing Brady Quinn's like the Dan Patrick show. Or I think.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I'm not sure. So maybe that's not what he's talking about, but I think that's what I keep seeing advertised, the Dan Patrick one. But anyways, Mike, we appreciate you, Mike Kinney. We appreciate you tuning in for the duration of this thing, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
mean,
a long
I feel
one
like we're doing it.
today.
I feel like we're doing a podcast for Mike Kinney.
Yeah,
Right on. Special guy.
We had a lot more people on before, but they couldn't last.
When you do a 2.5 hour podcast, you're probably going to lose a few.
yeah, just a few. Not everybody's Mike Kinney, right?
Right
I
on.
appreciate it. Man.
I swear, and it's every single podcast I do on YouTube. Mike Kinney is there.
Yep.
I love it, man.
Gotta love it.
Absolute
Gotta love
MVP.
it.
If you don't come on with us soon, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, man, you got to.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially once we convert to the Dynasty Warzone podcast that we're going to do. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll get a quite a bit more polished and
well, it's going to be fun because we're going to be playing these stupid games.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. But thanks for hanging out with us. That's kind of what this is just hanging out and talking fantasy football and football in general. And it's always a good time. So we appreciate it.
Exactly. Yeah, this was a rough one because I mean it's really hard to talk about what's about to happen. It really is. It's just impossible. Oh, real quick before we got off, I had a rookie question for you. So I know you're high on Zach Charbonnet.
Yes.
And I know I don't think he's declared yet, but I think he's going to. So if he declares, let's say for instance, he goes to Miami. How high would you have him ranked? Like where would you take him?
If they're taking him in the second round?
If they take him in the second or third, maybe high, they'll have a high pick. So like 10th pick in the second round, or 10th pick in the third round. Because I don't think he's a second round. He's a second round guy right now. How high would you take him in a dynasty draft?
In the third round? Probably taking him. It just depends on these quarterbacks. Like these quarterbacks are going to drive everything else,
right?
And super flex it at least. But I could definitely see him around the Trey Sermon area if he went in the third round.
So like 201, 202.
Yeah, 201, 202, maybe 203.
I was kind of thinking that, and I just kind of wanted to get your
if he goes in the second, which he definitely could. I think he's talented enough, and he's like he's the type of back the NFL is looking for right now.
Do everything kind of guy.
Yeah, who's really good out the backfield and stuff like that. So, I mean, I really like him. I think he's a good player, but I want to hear what the NFL thinks about him. I know.
Do you have a comp for him? Somebody you would compare him to by any chance?
I've heard a lot of comps to like a young David Johnson, which I really like.
Oh, okay, interesting. I saw him play, and I thought I watched some highlights, obviously because I have him on that Campus to Canton team. Yeah, and I thought he kind of reminded me of Kareem Hunt, like with the contact balance, sort of.
Yeah, he's a very
like, pretty smooth, sort of like bounces off people,
like a very balanced runner for sure.
Yeah, he's not like gonna take a hit head on, but he's sort of not
super flashy either.
Right. Yeah, you don't see him like accelerate and run past people.
Like David Johnson was too. Like just not a super flashy kind of runner, but just very effective, and just happens to make people miss. Yeah, I mean, I think Kareem Hunt's very similar kind of.
Okay, that's just sort of what he like when I was watching it. What I kind of the thought that I got. All right, cool, right on. I'm really excited. I really love that you gave me that pick because. Anyway, I
see, and you missed out on all the other guys I told you about too that were basically free in those Campus to Canton drafts. When I was telling you Matt Corral, I was telling you Ritter, I was telling you
They all
I
went
gave you a
right
bunch of
before.
them, like literally like right before, and it was late.
I probably
So-
started asking too late as what happened.
Yeah, you started asking maybe like a round or two too late.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
it was pretty close, but then
but yeah, this was, and I'm like, believe me, I'm not bragging because I'm normally way off on these things. But for some reason, all the guys that I really, really liked, that's coming out this year, draft eligible, I've hit on like all of them. Like the ones that maybe didn't have a lot of value in Devi before.
Yeah.
I've hit on like all of them. Even the guys that had value but maybe not as much, like Drake London. I have him in almost all my dynasty leagues. Matt Corral, I have him in almost all my dynasty leagues. But yeah, there's still several players that I really, really like that have just kind of shot up in value lately. So
Right on. I got real lucky that I built my Devi 2 team on all the tight ends that I drafted. Basically.
Nice.
Yeah, I took Pitts and Freiermuth back to back in like the third and fourth round.
Yeah,
and then
that's awesome.
And then just turn around and traded them both for the farm.
It's going to be very interesting watching those two players and seeing, if they can really take over as the top two tight ends.
Freiermuth looks great. I love him, man.
Pitts for a first-year tight end looks really good too.
Yeah, he does. He does.
For a first-year tight end, they both look definitely above average.
My only concern is he could lose his tight end designation at some point. I don't think
he ever will.
You don't?
I don't think he ever will. No, he's.
He does play in line sometimes, but not a lot.
It's one of those things like Cordell Patterson. Yeah. He just keeps his designation just because that's what that's what he was. It's what he is, right?
People hate change, I guess.
No matter where he plays, he's.
Yeah.
Pitts is going to keep that designation because they're always going to have packages where they move him at tight end. And if you take that designation away, you're basically saying he's not a tight end. When he was drafted as a tight end, he still plays tight end sometimes.
True.
So he has to have the designation, at least in my opinion.
True. I did hear on one podcast this week, though, that Cooper Kupp has played more snaps in line as a tight end than Kyle Pitts this year.
Yeah. Doesn't matter, though.
Is that
Cooper
crazy,
Kupp wasn't
though?
a tight end. Yeah.
Is that crazy? Cooper Kupp has actually played more tight end than Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
He's
not staying in the block on those. He's running routes,
I guess context too, right? Is that the Falcons are devoid of wide receiver talent, and the Rams have all these crazy packages and have so many wide receivers that
Yeah, that's true, and right. So the Falcons could, they get Ridley back and draft another outside wide receiver this year, and all of a sudden Pitts is in line quite a bit more.
Yeah, because they're definitely going to want to take advantage of him being one-on-one against linebackers, which I don't think many defenses are going to let them do. But anytime you can force a matchup against a linebacker with Kyle Pitts, you're going to try to do that.
Okay, but also just keep in mind. Well, all right. So there are precious few players that have the skill set to guard, Kyle Pitts once he's developed into his full potential, right? So, let's say you put a slot back on him. First of all, he's going to manhandle him at the line of scrimmage, and any guy that's even a little bit undersized, if he's playing in line, really runs the risk of getting cracked back by a guard, or a tackle, right?
You're either going to need
completely blown out of the play.
You're either going to need one of those like freak athletic safeties, or freak athletic linebackers like
Bobby Wagner,
Parsons, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's those guys are hard to find.
Yeah, they're hard to find. Or you're gonna need to really play zone against them and really try to.
Yeah, well,
But again, that's
it's going to depend, right? And then his success is going to depend on what if the quarterback can drop it into that what do they call it, the honey hole, that that spot, like they used to call it against Tampa 2, like over the linebacker and before the safety.
Or if he develops into one of those tight ends that just have a knack for finding holes in zone coverage.
Right.
There's those guys that, I mean, Kittle's really good at that. Kittle will literally just sit in a hole in zone coverage all day if you play zone against him.
Right.
But I mean, that's the thing is like those tight ends that are really athletic and really good at their position. Your Kittles and your Kelseys, they're unplayable. I mean, that's why they're so good, right? Like they're just unplayable.
Yeah, there's nobody that you can really use to guard them.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what
And
you're hoping.
If you double team
into.
them, obviously it opens
you
things
can't
up
put
for...
a corner against him. You can't put a linebacker against him. You can't put a safety against him unless you have one of those like one of one guys in the NFL.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But anyways,
all right, cool. You'd have to show me how I'm not tech savvy always. Oh, what? How to come on the podcast? We send you a link and you click on it on your phone, and all of a sudden you're on. That's all it takes.
Just like FaceTiming us. It'd be
super easy, man. All right, cool. This is fun. I mean, hopefully next week we'll have some clarity on what the heck is happening in the NFL.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get ready for like a really fun stretch. And my advice is go get your girl some flowers right now. Work on that relationship because she's not going to see us much.
Yep.
She doesn't see you much over the next week and a half.
Yep. And we're gonna have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
Going forward, so it's gonna be fun once we start actually playing these playoff games and these Patreon podcasts and Patreon leagues. It's late. These Patreon leagues and we really get into the nitty gritty here. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Right on. All right, cool. So for Chad Mendoza and Mike Casper,
who's left us a long time ago.
I am Jesse Schneeman, and this has been Patreon by the People.
See ya.